Hey, we're live on the air. Untitled Studios coming at you with another Chatterbox during the daylight. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Hello, internet world.
Yeah, my apologies. We'll try not to make this happen too often.
Yeah, we're doing a weekly one now, or during the week. See what happens.
Yeah, my
Oh
apologies.
shit! I forgot to turn my phone down. Fucking noob. Such a noob. Right. Hey, Ekanaro's here from the jump. Nice.
Really, I can honestly already. I haven't even opened up the chat yet. Nice.
Yeah. Usually we're about. Usually there's absolutely nobody for at least 5 minutes. Yeah. Greetings, Ekanaro.
How is he doing? I'm
Yeah.
just so shocked.
All right. Let's see. One comment says, yep, yep, yep. The second comment says, nope, nope, nope. But he is here.
Clear as always. Clear as daylight.
Yeah. Well defined, definitely.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh
But
no.
not creepy. That's nice.
So far. So
Right.
give him time. It's time to get creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be a little alarmed if he's not, dude. I ask him what's wrong.
Oh man, but that thing I was watching a gender fluid cringe compilation or something, just like wacky people who claim to be gender fluid.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them kept talking about how like words are violence, and that's why I was tweeting out like just why I just want to punch him in the face, and then
Oh, yeah.
it's just such a dumb thing. It's such a dumb fucking thing to say. Your words are violence.
So ridiculous.
You understand what that means? No, they're violent. Let me demonstrate, because clearly I can't explain this to you in a way that makes sense, but I bet a physical demonstration would be crystal clear.
Yeah, that's why I replied with the after you punch him in the face, just say, hey, does that feel the same as mean words?
Yeah. Oh man, I just
That's all you gotta do.
I want to dig in a little bit and watch him squirm and be like really angry while I'm like explaining it.
Right. Yeah, I don't get that, man. It's got to be a generational thing, maybe, because I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anybody my age that wouldn't be ashamed to admit that their fucking feelings were hurt like that from just something somebody said.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if somebody says something that hurts your feelings, there's no reason you can't go and tell them that, and then have a discussion or lack of discussion, because they don't have to care about that. That's not their
Right.
responsibility.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with saying something about it. It's just expecting people to just not be allowed to talk.
Yeah, it's ridiculous trying to shut them down by saying they're being violent by disagreeing with you.
That's where the difference lies for me, at least. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of other people would agree.
Yeah, but well, it takes a lot for me to get offended anyway. That's kind of my point. Is I would be ashamed to admit that anything offends me, you know. And it seems like they kind of revel in being offended, dude.
Oh well,
Like
yeah,
I would be ashamed, dude, to be that thin skinned, dude.
yeah. They have nothing better to do. I think part of it is just like a lack of direction in life.
Yeah.
It used to be really, really clear. You get a college education, you get a good job, you move to the suburbs,
Right.
right? And I think a lot of these kids, a lot of the SJWs are basically like rich kids or upper middle class kids who are at the point where they realize like that's not how the fucking world works at this point.
Right.
Like the corporate corruption has gotten so far out of control that like you can't really get a job in and there's a lot of people with college degrees working at like Burger King and McDonald's.
Right.
You can't really get the same kind of jobs you used to be able to get. The work just isn't there because our government has allowed all the companies that make their money here to hire what equates to, and this is maybe just my opinion, but equates to slave labor in other countries.
Overseas. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous, man.
you're competing with Chinese people who are living in essentially a work camp, and I claim that they're slaves because they're jumping out the windows to try to fucking escape the place.
Right.
Suicide,
Right.
and they had to put fucking nets on the sides of these buildings, and
Yeah,
because the wages are so low and the treatment is so poor.
Yeah. So it's pretty much the way it used to be here back in like the 1800s, where fucking women would burn to death because they locked the doors while they were working, so they couldn't get out or even take piss breaks or go to the bathroom. Yeah, it's fucking and really
it's
low
company
wages.
towns.
Mm-hmm.
Where you basically like everything you buy is from the company, everything you earn is from the company, and you're never out of debt. The company's willing to extend you credit because as long as you're doing the work, they'll make sure you don't die barely.
Right.
And this is the downside of capitalism. So like there's the big three: capitalism, socialism, and communism. Each have their like really fucked up aspect to them when they get totally corrupted.
Right.
And like that's the corruption of the capitalist. It's the work towns, slavery, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, there should be some way to fucking fix that. Like, if you're gonna do that much business in this country, you need to fucking have enough, a high percentage of workers.
You make laws that if people want to do business here, they pay an equivalent wage to anybody, regardless of what country they hire that person
in. Yeah. Actually, that would work way better than whatever bullshit I was just saying.
No, you were halfway there. Yeah, I've thought about this a lot because I'm fucking.
I really haven't.
40 Mike is in there. He said he said implicit versus explicit slavery. Yeah, it is implicit as opposed to explicit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like a macrocosm of like what the Grapes of Wrath. Wait, is it the Grapes of Wrath? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
That's
the one where they're working on the farm. Or they're working on the place and like they moved from Oklahoma to California.
You're thinking of Mice and Men, right? With Lenny and the guys are farm workers.
Yeah, no, the one I think it's the Grapes of Wrath.
It might be. I don't. I've read
one where they moved from. They moved from fucking Oklahoma because it was the fucking dust. It was the Dust Bowl times or whatever.
Definitely Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah, they moved to California, and basically they'd be working on the farm. They'd be living on the farm. And then they're buying all the shit from the farmers and shit. Like they could go all the way into town, 30 miles or whatever, and actually save the money, but they're not really saving the money by, buying the food and shit from the farmers directly.
Yeah, well, because 30 miles into town, that's, what is that, like 2 days worth of walking? That's,
right.
A day there and a day back, plus you got to stay there for the night, and then that's 2 days you're not working and getting paid for.
Yeah, so it's similar to that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Right.
Well, and the thing is, this is something I've actually done a little research on. What really bothers me about and it's mostly the right-wing people that make these claims, is that if you raise minimum wage, the jobs will go away. And historically, that's never been the case.
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't increase or decrease. It just stays roughly whatever trend was going on. It stays the same.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Although I was thinking about it, the fucking the shit that Walmart gets away with by paying their workers just enough or just low enough to where they qualify for like food stamps and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that's got to be a huge. I mean, as big as Walmart is. That's a huge impact on the economy, man.
I was looking up there's like statistics somewhere online, but I want to say like every Walmart costs the country roughly $1 million a year in benefits and shit,
or
something like that. Because there's especially like the super Walmarts. Let me look that up. It's legitimate. Like Walmart literally costs us all a ton of money.
Yeah, dude, and that should not be happening, man. Like they're deliberately doing it just because they're like, hey, yeah, we're not paying you more, but if we did pay you more, then you'd actually be missing out. Like, you fucking assholes, dude. They're fucking deliberately doing that so they can make a shitload of money and basically have everything be subsidized by the government, healthcare, food stamps, all that shit.
So on average, this is 2014, a report done by Forbes. And I would actually believe Forbes. I don't think they're very politically inclined one way or the other.
Well, they're conservative, but I think they're still try to be actual journalists.
Well, I think they're more about just like financial stuff.
Right, right.
Like they do a little bit of puff pieces here and there with like the richest men in the world kind of thing, but between 900,000 and 1.75 million per year, it costs the taxpayers that much for each super center.
Wow.
So that's like the big Walmart with like the grocery store and everything inside of it.
Yeah, and the tire place and the vision center and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many thousands of those are there? Or tens of thousands?
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they create jobs, and they create jobs by splitting full-time jobs into part-time jobs.
It's still not. It's still fucking It shouldn't be a company that's that big that's making that much money. Shouldn't be allowed to get away with that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things is it's like everybody gets on Trump for talking about deregulation, but it depends on what he's talking about as far as regulations.
Right.
Is it the kind of regulations that help small businesses start so that people can start having like options besides working at Walmart? And these other companies have the potential to actually compete with these shitty larger companies?
Yeah, because it seems almost impossible. Mom and pop places is essentially impossible nowadays.
I believe the cost of starting a small business has increased exponentially since the 70s. I think it's something like 3 or 4 times as expensive. So whereas it might have cost in just meeting regulations, might have cost you like 10 grand in the 70s. And now it costs something like 150, 200 grand to meet all the like stuff, and that's in 70s money. Like it's
right, the equivalent,
ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy. I'm not doing
the numbers right, but it's something like 3 or 4 times as expensive, and that's not a reasonable thing. And that certainly is because of corporations writing laws.
Right. Yeah, because that's a drop in the bucket for them. But for anybody that would actually compete with them, any individuals or even small groups, they have no fucking shot, man.
Oh, Mike, I love when they take up collections for their employees instead of paying them better.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Profits if you're like hundreds of billions in profits a year, but they can't pay their employees a fucking fair wage.
Yeah, no, I don't go into Walmart unless I absolutely have to, man. I can't do it, dude. I can't shop at that place.
Well, if only other people had the option. I think there's a lot of people who make such small amounts of money that's where they can afford to buy the stuff they need.
Yeah, I guess. But I think there's plenty of people that aren't in that situation that still shop at Walmart, dude.
Oh yeah, well, but I mean, like, if you only have like $10 and you need to buy a bath towel, Walmart will sell you a fucking bath towel for like $5, and you can go get a fucking Subway sandwich from that child molester right afterwards. $5 footlong right after. But the thing is, I don't think people realize, and this is something I realized a little while ago, was if you spend the money on a good quality product, it outlasts the equivalent in cheap.
Yeah.
So if you spend $30 on a really good shirt, or like my shirts cost $20 a pop, and they're like pretty good quality shirts,
right?
They last way longer than 2 $10 shirts from Walmart would.
Yeah. No, I've noticed that too, and that's why I always shopped at Target. Target's a little bit more expensive, but the quality is definitely better in my experience. Because I bought shoes and shit from Target. I never bought shoes and that from Walmart because everything's just cheap, dude. It fucking falls apart.
Yeah. Well, and it's because of the combination of allowing the implicit slave labor in other countries, so Walmart can get their stuff super cheap that way, and then literally taking direct bribes, because Walmart will literally pay like the local. Or no, Walmart gets paid. They'll actually pay Walmarts to open up because they need jobs. So instead of actually doing anything that'll improve the economy, they will literally just bring in a Walmart, because they'll pay Walmart like a couple $1 million and be like, build your superstore. We'll have all these jobs. And then Walmart drives everyone else out of business.
Yeah, takes out all the mom and pops places, and
my sister's town was taken over by Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is education, and part of it is just that they're they have so much power in the fucking in the White House and in the representative in our Congress that they're stacking the odds against anybody who wants to start a business that can compete. And I don't think a lot of people realize that's not how capitalism is supposed to work.
Right.
It's not like Microsoft who buys out all the competitors and forces them out of business. That's not capitalism. Capitalism
Yeah,
is
that's
Microsoft
monopoly, dude. There's supposed to be laws against monopolies, dude.
Yeah. Is
broke up
AT&T
back in the day. Why the fuck can't we break these fuckers up?
Well, I mean, Microsoft had to pay a huge amount of money to Apple. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. At one point, they had to pay them several $100 million or a few billion or some like crazy amount of money because of an antitrust suit.
Mm. Oh, yeah, they actually helped keep them in business, right?
Yeah, and it's antitrust because that's what they call a yeah. When you're taking a monopoly, it's antitrust laws.
Right. Yeah.
But that's how they broke up the Bells. PG&E is a monopoly, but it's
that happened like just before. Like that happened when I was like a real little kid, man. I've heard about it since, but yeah, people forget that there used to be just AT&T as the phone company for everybody.
Yeah,
and the little companies that they are now.
They broke it up because it was starting to get out of hand, and then. One of the things they've set up that basically...
Has that been done since? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like it should have, especially with... Yeah, well, Microsoft, I assume, did that. Were they ordered to do that, or did they do it? Because I remember hearing that Bill Gates decided to give the money to Apple, but did he do that? Or was he compelled by a court to do that?
Oh, he was compelled by a court.
Okay. Because it made it seem like he was doing it to be generous.
He probably did it because he was going to lose the case, and he didn't want to end up in a lot more trouble than he was already in. Because, like I said, you can't purchase every other competitor and put them out of business intentionally.
Yeah. Anybody who had a decent product, you just buy them out and steal the idea, basically, and shut them down.
Yeah, well, and then Apple's not much better though. I mean, there's a big thing. So I don't know if you remember the Real Player.
Oh yeah.
So there was a whole thing where essentially iTunes runs they don't run MP3s. It's I forget what it is. It's like a lossless codec or something like that.
Right.
It's like ACLs or something like that. We'll call them ACLs. It's a different format than an MP3.
Right.
And it's got a built-in lock, essentially, that prevents anybody else from playing it other than somebody who's authorized.
All right.
And Real Player created a ACC. There we go. Thank you, Econo. And Real Player created, a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago now, a player that would play ACC format. So if you had all your iTunes, but you didn't want to keep doing iTunes and you didn't want to put them on an iPod, you could still play it on your computer on a Real Player.
Right.
And then basically iTunes was like, no, that's our personal, like we own that format. And anybody that makes something that plays that format is violating our property, our intellectual property.
Right.
It really should never have succeeded in the courts, but it succeeded in the courts, and they shut Real Player down.
Wow.
Which was unfortunate because, like, realistically, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. It's like you can't get mad because you created DVD, but now other people make like DVD players.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, man. Yeah, no, I'm no fan of fucking Apple either, dude. I've never owned an Apple product, dude.
Well, I was young and had the iPod. Just shortly after, like, I got the second or third generation one.
Right.
And then because I treat my stuff really nice, it only stopped working maybe 2 years ago. So literally I had like an iPod Nano or Mini or whatever, like the smaller version of it for like a decade fucking of music that it just, and so I eventually had to switch off. And then here's the irony, right? So I didn't want to do iPod again. I didn't want to do Apple. I bought another MP3 player. And so I had to convert my ACC format songs into MP3, so I could take them from that platform to another platform.
Right.
I'm not going to get into the details of that, but ironically, the only songs I couldn't convert from ACC to MP3 format were songs that I had burned off of CDs I owned.
Oh, wow.
Into my iTunes library.
That's nuts.
So all the songs I bought from iTunes that I had only digital copies of, I had no problem converting them from ACC to MP3.
Yeah, but the ones you ripped from an actual audio disc,
those were all gone. And so all I had to do was take my CD collection out and reburn them all into MP3s with a different program.
Right.
It was the most ridiculous thing in the world, because it was like the stuff that I unequivocally own, like there's no question about the legality of it whatsoever.
Yeah, you have a fucking hard copy of it.
I couldn't convert.
Yeah. So there's something built into that. Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, and then here's the other thing. iTunes converted those from MP3 to ACC without ever asking me.
Oh, wow.
Initially, when I put them in, they were MP3s.
Damn, dude.
And then what was it?
So even without permission, dude, that's nuts.
And now, if you want to get MP3 copies of your iTunes songs, they charge you like 20 cents a song. That might have changed since then, but it was like a year ago or so that they announced it, or maybe like 6 months or something like that. But essentially, they were like, "Yeah, if you want to convert back to MP3, I'll do this."
Yeah, nope. I've never used iTunes. I've never even used iTunes. And even when my kids wanted like iPods, I'm like, no, I'll get you an MP3 player, but I'm not getting you an iPod.
Akinero says he's never had a problem with ACC even on players for Android. Maybe that's now, maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know. Maybe your country doesn't allow the same kind of digital security. It may be this thing that like you can't make it so that it won't play on other players. Because that could be a country thing.
Yeah, Apple might not have quite taken over there as much yet.
Yeah. That's my thought. I don't know. All I know is I could not load my ACC format on any of my MP3 players and play it. So, but then again, if you're talking like Android, maybe it was like a cell phone. A cell phone would probably be a different story though too.
Right.
Or maybe I'm just fucking dumb. It's entirely possible. I'm just dumb.
Yeah, anything's possible. But yeah, it's a mess, man, and it's I honestly think they keep us fucking distracted with shit like trans rights and shit like that to avoid us realizing the shit that we're really getting fucked on, and that this is really a corporate run country, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like I think it was the gay marriage thing, and then we're tapped out on that. We got to fucking find something new to distract these people from what we're doing.
The biggest problem was the corporate takeover of the news. So essentially, all news comes from like 2 or 3 corporations, and now it's all news and entertainment. It's not because they can't legally call it news anymore because it's not entirely accurate.
Right. Yeah, but journalistic integrity is almost non-existent now. Yeah.
Well, and people don't realize that like legitimately it's like 3 dudes basically own all of the news.
Yeah.
Whatever you're seeing on the news is whatever they want you to be told. It's not necessarily anything like what's really going on in the world. Like it's
right. Yeah. Yeah, there's very few outlets that will accurately report, stories that really should be reported, because it's going to make might make them look bad, or might make their the system look bad.
Well, what is it? North Korea, the North Korea thing right now. I'm really concerned that they're pushing for a land war. I was watching a thing from Stick Sex and Hammer 666, like credit where credit's due. But he made a really good point that when Fox and CNN are both telling you the same fucking lie, you need to be worried that this is fucking industrial military complex.
Shit. You know what? I really thought it was just bullshit, shit talking, fucking saber rattling bullshit, dude.
So
on both sides.
We went from like a month ago North Korea is slowly developing nuclear weapons. They maybe have 10 prototypes, but none of them are particularly viable. They haven't gotten anything even close to being able to mass produce or be a threat to anyone.
Right.
Suddenly they're claiming they have like between 50 and 60 ICBMs that they could just destroy California or New York with.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe.
Months later, which is it's complete bullshit.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe. I think they maybe even them being able to fuck up South Korea is kind of iffy to me. Right fucking there, and yeah, the fact that they think that they're somehow a threat to mainland U.S. or even Guam, like they fucking threatened.
Here's the thing. So and I agree with, this is one of the things I agree with Sticks on. There's stuff I don't agree with that guy on. A lot of stuff I don't agree with him on. But he was pointing out, like, if the U.S. went in and destroyed all of their air capabilities, took out as much of the artillery as they could from the air, just from regular bombing, then South Korea or Japan or whoever could just march in and eliminate that threat. And we wouldn't have to really risk any of our guys.
Right.
And we would be helping out our allies, South Korea or Japan, in dealing with the whole situation.
Right.
And we need to put more trade sanctions on North Korea. And I think Trump has a really good point of, we need to get China in line and be like, hey, look, if you want to keep doing business with us, you're not going to keep giving these people all the money and weapons.
Yeah, that is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I was kind of wondering that. I mean, I know China supports them, but if we really leaned on North Korea, is China really willing to fuck up everything for North Korea? Yeah, they're not, dude. It's kind of like a bluff, dude.
If we went in and attacked Korea or North Korea, probably China would just to prevent like refugees, because they wouldn't want them.
Right.
They would send a military force in and try to basically seize as much of the like iron and coal that's already been mined out and whatever wealth they can get out real quick.
Right.
And maybe carve out a little chunk of North Korea for themselves, but that's probably it.
Right.
South Korea and Japan would probably wipe out the rest of it just for their own protection.
Yeah.
And wipe or clean up the rest of it and take it over and reunify it with South Korea.
Yeah, and I think maybe China would officially object, but they're not going to fucking do it. They're not going to
officially object. They're allies.
Yeah. No, I mean officially object to us taking out North Korea if that happens.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, China can't compare to us on a military level. We would, if China and the U.S. went to all-out war, we would win.
Yeah,
for sure, and we would be relatively okay. We would take a lot of losses, but we would still be able to go to war with another country if we needed to. It's not like Russia, who has the kind of nukes and power that could literally, we would annihilate each other to past the point of being a threat.
Yeah, it's one of the things. It's one of the reasons that the Cold War remained cold, was that idea of mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, China has the 1 million man army, which a lot of people consider to be very threatening, but they really don't have a way to get it here.
Yeah, so they're not invading.
We would have the superiority, and if it came down to nuclear exchange, nobody would really win at that point. So but we would come out ahead. We still have enough more nuclear weapons that we could take them out before they completely annihilate us.
Yeah.
And of course, at that point, we might be able to still fight another war, but we'd fucking be pretty well halfway gone.
Yeah.
Assume you'd lose about half the people in the U.S., but they would lose 90% of the people in China. I mean, it's
yeah, they'd be done, dude. They'd be done as a society, pretty much, dude.
Then it might go on to nuclear exchange, but then again, if it goes to nuclear exchange, there's no guarantee that everybody with nukes wouldn't get in on it.
Right.
So it could potentially,
Yeah, what happens after the war's over? Then, that's the other thing, is Russia could easily attack us at that point when we're weakened, Yeah, all around, it's just not a huge idea to get into a big-ass battle.
No,
China, I think China knows that, and that's why they'd back off and let us do whatever the fuck we wanted with North Korea. They don't care that much.
Akinara's saying China's not as weak as you think. No, they're weak.
No,
They
yeah,
have numbers, but
they're
they don't
not
have
weak.
the
Well, they're not
power.
super weak, but yeah, they wouldn't win.
They don't have the way to get here that we do. They're not even close.
Yeah. What kind of navy do they have? You know, and then what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Russia would be tough. Russia definitely still has plenty of fucking nukes, dude. You know, they might have failed. The communism might have failed or whatever,
Well,
but
the toughest part about Russia is the land itself.
it's
It's
huge,
so
dude.
unforgiving,
Jesus.
and like come wintertime, you do not want to be involved there.
Yeah, even just like Moscow and that area is tough, and then you fucking bring up like Siberia where it gets fucking ridiculous. Yeah, it's the reason the First and Second World Wars kind of fucking petered out, dude.
Well, and Russia has a very different personality. Their personality is more like, I'd rather burn my town, my own country to the ground than let you have an inch.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts, dude.
So
yeah, they're fucking crazy, dude. You don't want to piss off a Russian dude. You know, they'll fucking come after you and your family.
yeah, Akinara, if we got into
because it's kind of the whole society.
Akinara's insisting here. If we got into a land war in China, they would have an advantage. What I'm talking about is if they tried to attack us, they don't have the same capability over the water and the air to get their strength to us. That's the thing. That's where the thing breaks down for them. We can just fucking bomb the hell out of them without ever landing. In comparison, that's the difference.
Yeah, we could easily take them out without having to.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to invade to do enough damage that they'd capitulate. No, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised. I appreciate your point because you're on the same continent, but it's not the same thing. I would be more worried about Russia.
Right, yeah. One of us would be surprised. Yeah. I know the U.S. has fallen recently, dude, but we still keep up on the fucking military capabilities, dude.
Well, the thing that would really concern me more than anything else is with the European Union the way it is, would we have any allies in Europe? Or would they all be on the side of like China at this point? I don't honestly know.
Well, no, if it was the Middle East, that'd be different. But yeah, I think it's you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't think they've quite got to the point where they're gonna all side with China. Like, yeah, if we're invading another Middle Eastern country, it might be different.
Well,
but then again, none of them have any fucking nukes.
Akinara says the truth is that isolate us all. I'm not sure how you think that, but do they have all the like the viral warfare weapons or something there? Like they just go like all the plagues at once, and they're like, "Fucking everybody die."
Yeah. Wait, is that where they store all the fucking seeds and all that shit too? Isn't that a nice one somewhere?
It's either that or Greenland.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah. Yeah, snowballs.
Iceland has snowballs. Thank you, Akinara.
All right.
No, what is it? I think one of the things that's kept everybody on our side is we go after like the big giant asshole in the room for the most part. Like, Saddam Hussein, nobody really liked that dude.
Yeah.
Except for maybe like the Russians a little bit, because a lot of these are proxy wars.
Yeah. Plus, dude, his son's like, I don't necessarily totally agree with the way we went in there and took him out. The first time it would have been fine. I don't know why we didn't. But yeah, it's his sons were fucking nuts, dude. Mm-hmm. Like if he died and his sons took over, holy shit, dude, there could be some serious craziness, dude. Because they're both insane. Like one of them was
like, so the real fuck up there was after we took out Saddam. And I don't know that this was ever really reported on very much, but after we took out the Iraqi military and took over the country essentially, and we're occupying it. Yes, Mike is right. We put him in power in the first place, and we seemed to like him then. But then he was like, "Fuck those people, they're assholes."
Yeah. Everybody we put in power ends up being, whether it's Noriega back in the '80s or fucking that's what always happens, dude.
Because
we used to be cool with Bin Laden, dude. You know,
we trained him, dude. They're fucking
yeah.
There's like
our foreign policy is fucking always disastrous, and they never seem to learn their lesson.
Yeah, there's photos of him hanging out at the Bush's like family gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hung out with George Bush.
Yeah.
Like nobody fucking questioned that. Everybody was just so mad about those 2 planes. They were like, yeah, but he's best friends with like fucking the Bushes. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
This seems really odd. And like, I don't know that the president should be like somebody who's friends with the terrorists that fucking blew up a bunch of our people.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Oh, but after we took over Iraq, we ousted Saddam. We instituted a free market. To hear all these assholes talk about free market, we instituted a free market, and the companies from the U.S. went in and
Halliburton. Cheney's old company Halliburton took over a bunch of shit. Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous.
Just destroyed them. They just fucking destroyed their economy and put them back in the fucking Stone Age, economically speaking.
Yeah,
and nobody wants to talk about that, and that's why they fucking hate us.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is, it shouldn't have been allowed all those U.S. companies to buy up all that shit, dude.
Yeah, if we'd ousted Saddam and then allowed them to figure out and get like an actual democratic government going, and then just stood back and we're like, hey, we're just gonna, we're gonna keep the peace until you guys have been doing this for a couple decades. We'd probably be best buddies, and they'd probably love us.
Yeah, and let the economy develop as it like naturally for them, like fucking.
But we decided to interfere in a government that they didn't necessarily hate or love, but like, or no, I think they hated it, but like we basically just took over their government and then took all their fucking money.
Yeah.
So we didn't
all their resources, all their fucking money. Yeah. Is there any examples of us going in, doing this shit in any country where it actually worked out well? Are there any countries where that happened, dude? Yeah, I don't know history that well, but I don't know of any where we didn't fuck shit up and make the place end up being worse than it was.
Well, because the basic concept of our military-industrial complex is you go in with war, you kill everybody, and then you take all their shit.
Yeah.
So if you leave people with nothing, then there's nothing that they have nothing to rebuild with.
Yeah.
And you going in and erecting like a dozen sheds and claiming that you spent billions on rebuilding their country doesn't actually help anything.
Yeah. It's just going to create the fucking militants, dude. It's going to create ISIS.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it actually creates it, but Islam in democratic countries weren't as rare as you might think, Akano. If you look at a lot of the Islamic countries, like 20 years ago, a lot of them were more, what do you call it? Where the government wasn't a theocracy.
Secular.
A lot of them were more secular, and a lot of them actually had forms of democracy. Not quite what we would expect in a first world country, but better by far than a lot of like the African warlord areas.
Mm-hmm.
And better by far now than a lot of the ISIS and Sharia law controlled Islamic countries.
Yeah.
Like women were allowed to fucking wear like pants and now it's all bullshit, but it used to not be. The extremism took over, and it sort of like separated the people in a similar way to what's going on now in like a lot of the first world countries, where it's like left and right are ready to like fucking, I don't know, slit each other's throats in the fucking street. Except in the with the Sharia takeover, it was like Sharia and like secular people, and the Sharia people just killed the secular people. So it was like,
nobody fucking cared because they weren't real people or whatever the fuck you want to consider them, Although fucking murder and that seems to be a big part of, like, honor killing. That fucking concept drives me nuts, dude. The concept of fucking honor killings, dude. Like, dude. Ugh.
what was it? Not that long ago, there were like these women who were trying to get from one place to another uh, as carefully as possible because they knew that their like father was going to try to find them and kill them for honor or something like that. And what was it?
Right.
Sweden like deliberately put them in the place where he could get them.
Mm.
It was a weird. It was like a small news story. I can't remember all of it, but it was like Sweden was just like, oh no, we'll just send them here and it'll be fine. And then they inevitably got killed because that's where they didn't want to go.
Wow.
But it was because it's their way. That's how it's supposed to. We can't interfere.
Yeah. Seems incredibly barbaric, dude.
Well, I mean, the thing to remember is, while there is a very, very large amount of extremists as far as Islam goes, and like ISIS and the Sharia law, there are a few areas where it exists in a secular way with the government, and they're not terrible.
Yeah, but that's more. I mean, how many countries is that true in, dude?
It's getting to be less and less. That's the concern.
Yeah, even the countries that used to be like fucking Turkey and places like that.
Well, and instead of us propping them up, we're over there fucking getting involved and trying to take shit over. Because the more turmoil and the less peace there is, the more we can take monetarily out of those countries.
Right. It's almost like we want the unrest just to take advantage of it. Yeah. Plus, keeping them from fucking uniting, because let's say if all the fucking Middle East actually united under like a single fucking thing, it would be pretty goddamn dangerous. So I assume they do kind of play the countries and the factions and all that against each other.
Well, we're so in bed with the fucking Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Like that, whatever is good for Saudi Arabia is what we do.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is pretty goddamn fucking non-secular or whatever you call it. Like they're fucking strict, right? And their Sharia bullshit.
Their Sharia law, but it's sort of like
like their women have to wear the full fucking burqa, right?
I'm trying to think because like it's this weird sort of double standard. But it might just be that that's Sharia law. I'm not sure. But like they have slaves, and if you smoke weed over there, they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
gay. You either have to get a sex change or they'll just kill you one way or the other.
Yeah. Dude, this is what fucking cracks me up about the whole Islam and the fucking hypocrisy of it. Is you're familiar with Bahrain, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're familiar with like basically it's like the sin country. It's like the Las Vegas of the fucking Middle East, basically. They can go over there, do whatever the fuck they want, and it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then Bahrain was the one like where fucking CNN or CBS or CNBC or something like that was putting up like these big fucking stories about it, about how wonderful it was and how like free everybody was. While the person who was in control of Bahrain was actively using chemical weapons on his own people.
Wow.
Like literally, like they were running commercials about how awesome and great it was to visit and see the culture, while the fucking dictator of the country just fucking murdered tons of his own people.
Yeah.
It's just like
insane, the most dude. Yeah, but I just couldn't. I never understood the fact that you could go into that country and whatever you did. The reasons for it too was, well, you see that mountain? See, Allah can't see past the mountain, so that's why. It was like something stupid like that. Yeah, the all-powerful Allah is foiled by a fucking mountain.
Well, fucking the butthole is like God's loophole.
Mm-hmm.
Never said anything about butt fucking.
Yeah,
you can't put your vagina before you're married, but that little loophole.
Yeah, you can't cover your neighbor's wife, but he didn't say anything about sons.
Yeah,
and your neighbor's sons. Yeah, that I find fucking it's just weird, man. It's just messed up.
Well, the difference is we don't actually believe that. Like, there's a lot of people who believe in like the really nice parts at this point, but they just sort of ignore all the other parts. Like that, you're not allowed to wear fabric that's like of mixed materials. So that polycotton blend shirt that most people wear is technically
it'll be fucking death.
To hell.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I wonder if I wonder what Muhammad's actual fucking beliefs were. Like, it's pretty obvious that it's more of a political system than an actual religion.
Muhammad,
in my opinion, anyway.
A warlord that basically he took over while pretending to be like Mr. Nice Guy. Once he had a big enough thing that he'd taken over. Oh, Mike has a thing to say. I'm gonna send Mike a link. He's getting in on this.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. He loves Islam, dude, doesn't he? No, or he defends Islam.
He always wants to do like not all Islam people.
Yeah.
Why am I not? I can't fucking.
Yeah.
For some reason I can't.
Yeah. What's his? Let me see. Can I send it to him? What's his? Hold on. Do I know how to do this? Nope, that's not right. Oh shit! Which one's live?
On the Skype?
Yeah. Oh, is it Skype? Oh, okay. I thought you were having trouble sending him the link like through Twitter.
I'm gonna quit Skype, Mike, and then go back in and reload.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to avoid you. It's fucking out on me here. It won't even let me close it now. It's like not responding. That's weird. That was really weird.
Control Alt Delete Task Manager.
Yeah, that's what I did eventually.
Yeah, even that sometimes takes a while.
My computer just started bonging at me, and I was just like, I have to stop, and I have to stop the bonging because fuck that computer bullshit.
Right.
You not get to tell me what to do, computer. I told you.
Close, damn it. Do what you're told.
Yeah, that was just so bizarre. I've never had Skype do that where it just wouldn't fucking let me do anything.
Yeah, starting to take over. Hey, there he goes.
What's up?
What's up,
What's up, 40 Mike? What do you got?
I, first of all, do not like Islam.
No, I was thinking to dig at you, dude. I wasn't serious, dude.
Just
Go
get
ahead.
that out of the way. But no, it's just Islam hasn't been potty trained yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Gone through a reformation the way Christianity did.
Well, they did. Like Stabby said, they were actually going through a reformation like 20 years ago.
But then the people with the terrorist organizations and Sharia and stuff were like, let's just kill all of those people.
Yeah.
Turns out really effective. Really fucking effective.
Yeah. It's really effective if you just silence all opposition by killing them.
Yeah.
Right.
Amazingly.
Yeah, and then whoever's left is going to not speak up because they'll fucking end up dead.
But the good thing is, it's harder now than ever to just keep your populace ignorant of what possibilities lay outside of their small, tiny little world.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, look,
Islam isn't going to take as long, hopefully, you know.
Not going to take fucking decades or centuries.
Exactly. Well, especially now that we stopped centuries for Christianity.
Yeah, now that we stopped funding ISIS directly, that'll help.
Yeah, and if our government wasn't like so fucking corrupt, a lot of these problems wouldn't exist right now.
Well, I like one of the things I like about
we've put people in positions of power, like Saddam and all these fuckers. And B, we go in with our big, stupid American ideas and try to take shit over. And it inevitably goes fucking wrong every fucking time. And then the situation is 1,000 times worse than before we interfered.
Yeah, but that's always happened. Like, I don't get why they fucking don't learn. Maybe they just don't care, actually. I just realized that. Well, they probably don't fucking really give a shit.
I don't want to say
never
always.
Works out, dude.
Because, like, we did, like, we can go into like Nazi Germany, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we fixed that, right? Like it's not like that anymore. So it's like it's possible to have a just war and to have the end result be better.
I don't know. It's heading
really
back
hard
that way
now.
To be fair, not Germany is heading right back towards that right now, though.
Are they becoming Nazis again?
Well, they literally are arresting people and putting them in jail for like saying the wrong things politically online.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's not good.
Not really heading in a great direction. Like we made a huge difference for a long time, but they're kind of heading right back down that fucking path.
Yeah.
Is that because
although that is one of the win
inherently evil?
But that's pretty much literally since World War II have we gone into any countries that actually ended up okay afterwards. Like I'm trying to think of one. Like we put fucking Noriega in charge in fucking Nicaragua. Was it Nicaragua? Panama. What? Fuck. Is it Panama? Panama, right?
It seems like we're a lot more willing to settle now. Where it's like just put in a guy that's not as bad as the last guy. Like it seems like we're not trying to put in good guys. We're just trying to put in less evil guys. The problem with that is once they get that level of power, they're going to become just as bad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it takes a fucking pretty goddamn remarkable person to have that much power and not let it go to their head, dude.
Yeah. Give it to me. I'll do it.
Yeah, you can trust me with it. Yeah, I'll be totally fine. I'm sure of it.
Maybe we should have a committee.
No, I think Guam and Korea we did okay in. Like half of Korea is great. Like we only fucked it up halfway.
Korea is great. Only the top.
Basically, we control Guam.
Yeah.
Guam is essentially like part of the United States, if I'm not mistaken. It's like an American.
Yeah, it's like territory or whatever. Yeah.
Well, Engel recently went there, and he came back alive.
Yeah, got out just before the
nukes
hit, dude.
Right there over the other Korea.
Oh wait, now that we finally have Mike back, what was going on with like you were saying something about 600 feet or something?
Oh yeah, the can't go to my house story.
Yeah, that sounded.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with it,
well,
I don't want you to force you to say anything here. But if you're willing,
I think I think I can tell the story in a way where it's legal.
Yeah. Well, luckily, as you already know, nobody watches this, so you'll probably be
good. That's true. This is probably the safest place to tell the story because no one will ever hear it. No, it was. So my dad died recently. I think everyone knows that.
Man.
Anyone who follows the show religiously knows that.
So Akinaro and probably no one else other than
exactly
on the show.
So that happened, and then my family member, I'm not even going to say which one, basically had a mental breakdown and got legal paperwork effectively removing everyone except that person from the house for a period of 2 weeks until a court date could be set.
Oh, that's pretty ridiculous.
So I got like woken up one day by the police and was told I have 5 minutes to vacate the property. Like this is how I found out this was happening. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm leaving because like if you don't leave in 5 minutes, you're under arrest.
I have a question here.
I was like, okay, so I'm leaving.
Do they have to have any evidence to file that paperwork?
No. There's no evidence is required for this type of paperwork. It's called an ex parte. You can basically write down any lies you want, and they will take it as truth until the court date, basically.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't even
So they found out about this and they abused it, and they basically had everyone removed from our house except for them. So they had run of the house for a couple weeks.
Wow.
But then they found out that filling out that paperwork, you do so under penalty of perjury if you lie about anything on there. And they had just stacked the entire list of lies of things that they accused me of doing, that there was actually legal paperwork showing that they were the one that actually did all that.
Oh, shit.
So when I was like, well,
so that's going to fucking go to
court. Yeah, I'm just going to go to court with all of your court records. or all your police records and just be like, look, every single thing on this list is what they did. They just wrote their own track record down and blamed me for it, basically. And
That's
so they were,
ridiculous.
so the court date came up and they mysteriously dropped the charges.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So then I was legally allowed to come back into my house.
Now, are you going to file an ex parte with them?
No, that person has since left.
Work out.
No, that person's gone already. Like, as soon as we came back, it's like, okay, you're out of here. Like, here's eviction papers.
Oh,
And these aren't the type of papers where you get 5 minutes to get out. They get like 30 days or whatever.
Well, I just love the fact that they essentially filled out all of the paperwork you need to kick them out.
Say that again.
So are you still?
I didn't.
Yeah, it is kind of remarkable that because it seems like they're not the type of people that would be able to figure all that shit out to get it to court, even.
Well, they had help.
I don't know. That's nuts. Did they like gut the house or something? Like,
another more eviler person helping them to do all these things. So it's like
kind of like a mommy of five helping them out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. So but they're gonna get off without like any real consequences, right?
Their consequence,
other than getting kicked out.
No, their consequence is they're not allowed to file another what is it called? Ex parte against me because they lied about the last one, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, so
did they do anything?
Try it again?
No, they're not allowed to try it again, basically.
That's awesome.
Did they pull any crazy shit in the 2 weeks, like gut the house and steal a bunch of shit or anything like that?
No, they just lived high on the hog without regard for anyone's stuff, basically. Like there was a couple things that ended up like broken or damaged, but it was basically minor stuff. They made a huge mess. Like
they didn't even think ahead far enough to like steal anything of value and like make some money off the deal.
Yeah, like, that would make sense. Like, why would you do that?
They
just
thought
because you have 2 weeks by yourself, like that.
They thought that after the 2 weeks was over, everything would be forgiven and everything would be all right. And it was like, no, you literally threw me and my son out of our home. Like, you need to leave.
Yeah, that's fucking. Yeah, see, that's why I don't subscribe to that fucking family is always forgiven bullshit, dude. You know, the way a lot of people do. I'm like, no, I'm not going to, especially when somebody's obviously taking advantage of the fact that you're family like that. Like, fuck that, man.
Well, I have an extra out because I'm adopted. So I can just be like, I'm not even legally, blood related.
Yeah, we're not even
go away. No, I've never subscribed to the whole blood is thicker than water nonsense.
Yeah, me neither. Or at least I shouldn't say never, but it was very early on with a psychotic older sister that showed me the light.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
What is it? I had two aunts on my dad's side that didn't talk for 20 years until they both died. Like, just didn't talk.
Yeah.
And then two cousins now who are just like, they will not have anything to do with each other.
Well, yeah, see, I don't...
Yeah, no,
I don't inherently hate family. It's just... I don't see why I should take extra shit off of them that I would any other human being on planet Earth. Yeah. And in fact, the people that I know as friends treat me way better than my family anyway. So it's like, they're my family.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it too, man. Because I don't talk to a vast majority of my family, dude. I don't really want to. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't like.
We probably say this because we don't like our families and our families suck. So, so that's why we feel this way.
Yeah, but it's literally like I know for a fact that I would not hang out with any of you if we weren't family. We wouldn't be friends. Like, there's no fucking way. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, I don't want to deal with you fucking assholes and your bullshit. Yeah.
How's your family, Stabby?
Like we are just dissimilar. Like there's no hate really between me and my family.
Oh, that must be awesome.
That don't get along. It's a money thing. Like one guy ripped the other guy off supposedly. I don't know the real truth of it. But.
In my family, if you don't hold the exact same opinion as the other person, you're a piece of shit and you're the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's that.
Well, there's a little weird thing that happened in my family when my dad's mother died.
What was that?
Just wanted to let William know that we're going to still do Sunday nights. We're going to do 2 a week, I think, for a little while. See how that goes.
We've got a chat. Forget about the chat.
I try to interact with the chat as much as I can because we have so few fans.
Yeah.
I forget about it all the time.
Like, I was in the chat 5 fucking minutes ago, and I've already forgotten that it existed.
Yeah, you're one of us now.
My grandmother on my dad's side died, and she had a pretty substantial amount of money. Well over 6 figures, I think 150 grand or something like that. Now she supposedly had a will. Nish is there too. Hey Nish, thank you for calling us queers. Much appreciated.
We are queers.
But it was supposed to go to the grandchildren, which would have been me, my brother, and my cousins, in the form of college trust funds.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
But my cousin Nathan came in and was helping her out and taking
helped her
care
change
of
the will.
The will disappeared.
Wow.
Mysteriously.
So the funds got separated 3 ways to the 3 kids. My 2 aunts.
Oh, instead of the grandkids, you mean?
Yeah, so instead of the grandkids. And I don't harbor any ill will because my parents bought a really nice house, and so I have this wonderful house that I live in. So I'm certainly not going to complain about it. It's not like I didn't benefit or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like they use the money to fucking go on a heroin spree or something like that.
And at the end of the day, I'm not, I'm not put out because I didn't get it. I'm fine with that. It's no big deal.
Also, my family screwed me out of $40,000 recently.
Ooh,
shit.
Yeah,
that'll do it. Damn.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
That was the end of my story. That was all it was. Yeah.
Yeah. The same situation. Everyone talked a big game about being family until money was on the table.
Oh, is this when your dad died? Or?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're not family. You're not even good people.
Right. That's awful, man. This is the thing. This is one of the reasons. One of the reasons that I can't stand. Well, specifically, my oldest sister is pretty psychotic. She's definitely borderline or whatever. One of those things. One of those personality disorders. But basically, her and her husband are the same. They're both fucking horrible people. When my dad first got sick, like me, I was just fucking sad because my fucking dad had cancer. The first thing that they did was come down, take him out to lunch, and ask him if they could have his shit when he would die, dude.
Nice.
Like his tools and shit like that.
So they're not even
and when I heard about it, I'm like, dude, I hadn't even thought of that yet. You know what I mean? It didn't even register. I was actually just sad that my fucking dad was dying.
Yeah.
Like a normal person. But the first thing they thought of, dude, was we got to get down there and try to get my dad's tools. Because my dad has a fucking shitload of fucking, a whole garage full of tools and shit. And he actually asked my dad, can I have your tools? And my mom was like, he's got 3 sons. And this is what her husband said, who's not, not related, obviously. He's like, well, I asked first. That's what the guy said.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's like, I already wrote my name on it.
Yeah. Although it is nice that 2 fucking psychopaths have found each other as they should have, they're kind of perfect for each other because they're both fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Do they do horrible things to each other? Or do they just team up and do horrible things to other people?
Yeah, no, I sure they do. He's cheated on her plenty of times, and she caught him. And she actually told her daughter that, no, I can't leave him because I don't want to lose his benefits because he's in the fucking military. And I'm pretty sure that's bullshit because I'm pretty sure he'd keep the fucking benefits if they got divorced. But that's the kind of fucking bullshit. They'll fucking. I think what happens in relationships like that, where you have 2 people with, personality disorders, is they fucking they sign off on each other's bullshit, dude.
Okay.
And that's why it fucking works. Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna put up with me fucking cutting his back when he's asleep, and I'm gonna put up with him cheating, and
relationships are all about give and take.
Yeah.
Sometimes you give some scars and take some scars, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. You gotta work with relationships.
Yeah. But
know,
that's
he
pretty
cheats
much.
on you. You fuck his his best friend. Everything works out in the end.
If you can't abuse the one you want, then abuse the one you're with. That's what I always say.
The general rule is if you're going to throw stuff at each other, make sure it's the same weight. Nobody's throwing heavier shit.
Yeah.
Equality.
Keep it equal. Even though women are inherently inferior. Oh, God.
Yeah, they should get 77% less weight, dude.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, I got the number back there, but you know what I'm saying.
What's up, Mickey East of Tao in the chat? We're gonna start maybe doing it twice a week, man. The daytime one on Thursdays at around 1 o'clock, and the regular Sunday night at fucking 10:30 at night.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning out all right so far.
So it's a chatterbox. And
Yeah, I
the
was wondering
sunlight
if we should
burns.
change the name for the day.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to do that too.
Oh.
But fuck it. Yeah, if something comes up, because you said you kind of wanted this one to be more of a political thing, but it's ended up pretty much the same.
I don't know if I want it to be more political. I just wanted to I was wondering if maybe we should try to make it something else. I'm not creative though, so I was just
How do we get more political?
I don't think any of us have the fucking attention span to keep it from, just turning into us bullshitting about whatever. So we might as well keep it under Chatterbox if it's going to end up.
I always assumed it was all about the bullshitting.
Yeah.
So.
We'll follow the path written out for us by the cunt stream, where they just do it whenever the fuck they feel like it, and it's always
path of least resistance.
Hey, you guys feel like streaming? Sure, why not?
Good
Let's
to see
do it.
others lack a life. It's true. I have no life.
Yeah, either do I. If I have to get a job or something, I might have to cut back.
Fucking, what was it when my grandma died? I forgot. She had all this stuff in her house.
It's the death show today.
And so,
we are talking a lot about relatives dying in the show.
Oh, this is a weird
one.
Go
ahead, sorry.
Okay.
Essentially, everybody got little colored stickers, right?
Yay.
So, my dad got one color, and then each of his sisters got two different colors themselves. Little colored dot stickers. And they went through the house and put their dots on stuff they wanted to keep.
Oh.
And that's how they broke it up. Yeah, I think that was suggested by the attorneys or something, just because it was look, you just do this, and then what people even have to argue about. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of money and grief and stuff if you just go through and put your dots on what you want.
We've got the dot system. They're like, what's that?
And then
I thought they were all going to be I thought they were all going to put the dots on their head and be different color, the Power Rangers of Hindus or something.
Well, then bindi dots.
On my mom's side, when her mom passed, she had a whole house full of stuff. The majority of it nobody really wanted. A lot of it was just kind of junk.
That's even sadder. It's like people the fucking the vultures didn't even swoop in on this one. They look at it, they're like, nah.
Well, so my grandma was into all these weird magic bullets for aging and health.
Oh,
so there was just a lot of stuff that just didn't really do anything.
So a bunch of scams, basically.
She had really, I mean, the settlement all told just in cash from hers is probably well over $1 million that they're going to split 4 ways.
Hey, real quick, Miggy's taking off. I just wanted to say, later on, Miggy, thanks for joining us for shortly. Bye. And what the fuck is that? Charles Manson in your fucking display?
No, I think that's an old cowboy.
I don't know. That looks a lot like Charles Manson. But anyways, see you Sunday.
Let's just say it's PewDiePie.
Sorry, man, Stabby. I just wanted to get that in. Plus the fact that he seemed to put in that we are greater than the cunt stream, dude. I had to acknowledge that.
Not arguing with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the cunt stream?
It's an inferior version of what we do, apparently.
Because I'm thinking you don't want to cross the streams, the cunt streams.
Yeah, really. The cunt stream is another stream run by a monkey who wears a top hat.
Schmeckle.
Nice. Schmeckle. Okay.
It's rather entertaining. I watch it fairly regularly.
I think I stopped when they have Ogre on, because I know you don't mind Ogre, or you think he's not a bad guy, but
I don't.
Yeah.
I ride the middle ground with Ogre. I think he's done a lot of shitty things, and he's also done a lot of really nice things, and it's just, fucking mixed bag. You don't know what you're gonna get. But
Does it
it's
balance
not my job
out?
to tell people, like,
Does
don't
the number
watch
of good
this.
equal the number of bad, or would you say he leans in one direction more?
I don't know, man. Some of the stuff people got upset about, I don't really see as like a huge issue. So, like, he
Okay.
apparently whipped his dick out on like a private live stream with someone.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
Was
I
it an
figured-
uninvited dick whipping, or
Well, there were more people on the stream. It wasn't just one person. So,
Yeah.
first of all, there were multiple people on the stream, from what I've heard. And frankly, unsolicited dick pics are not a fucking new thing, and that's essentially what that is.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't even familiar with that. I was already done with him before that even happened, I
shit
believe.
is ogre.
Mickey doesn't like the guests on the kind of stream. Yeah, some of the guests are kind of boring.
Like Schmeckle.
See, told you guys it was fucking Charles Manson.
You were right. I acknowledged that a while ago, man. Did you miss it?
It's like, I told you, motherfucker.
Obviously, I did.
I knew it.
I was wrong again.
No. Obviously, dude. I mean, no. That's how slow my response time is. I'm barely.
Do you like studies Charles
Like
Manson?
fucking 5 minutes later, like, yeah, you were wrong, Stabby.
Take that.
Instead of being instant.
Got to get us some pretty ladies to go out and murder people for us. Yeah, Ogre's done some stuff that's really not cool.
Ogre has
I think if he
attacked
sobers
people
up,
with his dick.
yeah, I think if he sobers up, he'll be a lot better and a lot more tolerable.
I still, me personally, I think he's awful, and the drinking's just making it worse.
His
But
personality is
I could be wrong. I'm
worsened by the drinking, if not.
I haven't watched his streams in a while, mostly because I'm out running errands when he's on, but just also kind of guess it's like.
Yeah. No, the time when he was fucking massively talking shit about Liz, and then Liz jumps on and he immediately starts kissing her ass. Yeah, I don't know if that's drinking or if that's just a serious personality flaw.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's borderline personality. That might be.
It could be, but I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, you were just talking some fucking crazy, like, evil shit about her, and she just came back onto the stream, and now you're kissing her ass, dude. Like,
so it was basically a speech about how she's the Wicked Witch of the West, and then she shows up, and he's like, "How are you doing?"
Yeah, I really like you anyway.
Yeah, I really respect you, and
because I could talk shit about like a thing that I dislike about someone that I usually agree with, and then if I like they showed up and be like, "But that's just a tiny thing." Like most of the time we agree. Like,
yeah, no.
I can see that.
He was,
but if he's just like, "This person's the fucking devil," if I saw. You ever see those people that are like, if I saw this person right now, I'd punch him right in the face, and then that person like walks up behind them immediately, and you're like, is the punch gonna happen? And they're like, oh hey, how's it going? And there was no intention of punching him in the face at all. It's like, oh, okay, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I love people talking about what they do. If they're
the further away they are, the braver they are.
I try to be specific with my criticism, if I can be, about people.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I can be honest when I'm talking to them. Be like, yeah, that's something about you I don't like.
Like that time you whipped out your dick on everyone.
Yeah, like
think about that next time.
Yeah, see, I've never, and I was kind of done with them. The two incidences were, that was the second one that I was talking about. The first one was when he fucking lost it on Liz's stream, when he apparently claimed that he paid to get on, which you can argue about whether she should be charging people to get on or not, but he claimed that he paid to get on, and then it turned out that he hadn't, and he fucking lost it on the stream, got so fucking offended and flipped out. Like those are the two incidences I have with Ogre for the most part. It's him continuing to flip out days later about some stupid ass Jewish joke on the cancer stream, dude.
Oh,
it's a cancer stream, dude. Like that's what it's about, is us pretending that we're fucking, making, or we're just, none of us are actually fucking racist or anti-Semitic that are on that shit. We just fucking make fucking shitty jokes about it.
What was that? We had a guest one time where I'm not convinced that he wasn't actually just really, really racist and thought that me and Stabby were racist too. And thought this was just the show to be really racist, and then I think it dawned on him like halfway through we were joking.
Are you sure that's not Class Holes?
No, it was a different guy.
I don't remember who you're talking about. I vaguely remember what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he was just on one time, and then he realized like they're
Like,
not
oh
really.
shit, these guys are joking
Yeah,
around.
they're not
These
really
guys-
racist. Like
These guys are not part of the Aryan
Oh,
nation.
Nish Brown remembers the racist. Damn. How do I not remember the racist?
yeah.
That must have been before my
Well-
time, dude.
Because we were telling racist jokes right alongside him. So to a casual viewer, I'm sure it seemed like, oh, he's just one of them. Like listen to these three racist guys.
Yeah. That's funny, dude.
It was definitely a long time before you got on Day 12, for sure.
Yeah.
And here you wake up.
Yeah, we don't know if you're
For some
racist.
reason, he didn't stick around.
Yeah. And we make a joke about black people. We're joking. We're not serious. I think he wasn't joking.
Yeah, I think he was really telling the
He was
jokes like
actually-
they were true. Yeah.
God damn, dude. That's pretty fucking funny.
I
I
brought
have
like-
to go back and listen and see if I can fucking hear that.
Yeah, everyone go back through our catalog and find that guy that was just on one single episode.
Was it Chatterbox or was it on the other one we did, the Untitled podcast?
I don't remember, honestly, dude.
I want to say it was on Untitled Podcast. It must have been one of those.
Probably. I hope.
Yeah, that one was fucking awesome.
Yeah, most likely,
I'm the
'cause I
one that
think-
brought him in.
Yeah, I think I'd followed almost all of the Chatterbox ones, so most likely it was the one before.
In the before time.
Yeah, I think,
In the
I brought him
long,
on.
long ago.
I think it was my fault. It was like somebody I met in like a hangout or a chat somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, you should come on and hang out with us."
Mhm.
And then you
Yeah.
came on, we're all like,
He's got some good racism.
Well, I think I might have thought he
Well,
was-
it could have been one of those cancer streams, dude, of Liz or somebody else. A lot of people do them.
Are we?
I could easily
Untitled Studios was almost a cancer stream.
Mhm.
Like there were definitely parts of that show where, yeah, that was the point.
Yeah,
Where it's just to be as
It's
just like
fucking offensive.
fight back against the super ridiculous, like, you know, you got to be PC for everything. It's like just
Yeah, you
don't
can't
be
make the
PC
fucking-
for a little bit. Like do the
Yeah.
opposite.
No, I've seen the PowerPoint stuff, dude. I'm aware.
Okay, so I'm aware.
I've seen the cream filled dead puppies and such, dude.
Yeah, it can
I-
take the piss out of something to
Mhm.
laugh at it, like something hurtful,
Mhm. Yeah, no,
like the fags on motorcycles and stuff.
yeah. Like I said, that's what I loved about Liz's stream before it all went somewhere else.
To pot.
to money
Yeah.
all the time, every time.
Yeah.
That's what I got kind of tired of.
All right. Yeah. Well,
It
yeah,
ruins
me-
everything, doesn't it?
Oh, it
Yeah.
just turned into like every single, like every other week. It's like some new crisis is going on. And
Yeah.
somebody desperately needs money, or they're going to be dead, or on the street, or some other thing. And it's just like, I'm not buying it now.
The
Like,
crisis of
Considering she made it
ISIS.
to VidCon pretty comfortably, I don't know how hurting she could possibly be.
Well, she got a lot of donations for that specifically, but
Oh yeah, that's true.
my thing is
she like professionally offended by everything?
no, she's not.
No.
Okay.
She runs a cancer stream, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And my thing is just ask for money. You don't have to come up with
Yeah.
a bunch
It's
of bullshit.
like just ask for money if you need money.
Well, just be like, if that's what you're doing, you want to make YouTube into a job, you want to make money off of it, fucking
Sure.
say, hey, this is what
Yeah.
I'm doing for work. And if you could donate a couple bucks, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me keep
Yeah.
everything going, helps me improve the show.
And if you're
Yeah.
gonna be one of those people that's
I
like
hear ya.
get a real job, then it's like it's obviously not for you. Go away now. Like
Yeah.
I know that it's not a real job. Why do you think they
But-
want it so bad?
But I don't need to hear whatever sob story you came up with that week.
Yeah.
Get-
Yeah, if it starts sounding fake, see, I think I left before even that started happening. I mean, it was a little bit, I think, when I was still following it, but
Well, like it's
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my house. I can't pay my bills. I can't
So
do
she
this,
was-
that, and the other thing. And I don't necessarily doubt any of
She was
it.
professionally sad then.
It's just I don't need to hear all that stuff
She was
constantly.
professionally pathetic.
I mean,
Yeah, essentially. But she's
Was-
and
she's a YouTube bum. Like
she's pretty cool. Like on when she's not doing the begging part.
Yeah,
Other than that, she's
yeah.
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, and I like the other guy she has on, well, except one that I mentioned, but yeah, I like the Batman's really good guy, Dark Art, like, you got some really decent people on there for the most part.
They
Um,
tend to get into a lot of drama, which I sort of ignored.
Right.
But I mean, for the most part, they're very cool.
Right.
So I think
People
her and
love
Dark
drama.
are in the outs right now, or they were very recently. I don't know. Like,
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't hear
I
about
don't
that.
fucking know, man. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Broke up.
It's none of my business. That's all. And when I say that, like, I don't mean like as in like to be like derogatory as
dismissive
much as
or
just be
anything,
like
but-
it's none of my fucking business.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not involved with that, so it's not.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah.
them. I guess if you were like a super devoted follower and your channel got broken up, you'd be like, why?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you know, I might
You would
wanna-
definitely feel like it was your business, even though it kind of isn't. Like you're just a viewer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But one of the things is like, so there's another channel, Reading Ren, who does a shitlord stream, Shitlords Anonymous, and they basically
Shitlords.
just have a group of people on, and they make fun of like silly things they find on the internet.
I
Essentially,
want Time Lords versus Shitlords.
no Time Lords. But like they'll put on like crazy, you know, out there people who are like religious or SJW or
Oh,
just,
they get nut jobs on.
yeah, no, they don't actually get them on. They just get their videos
I
and
watch the
Oh.
videos.
Oh, it's much
like a
safer to
Mystery
do
Science
that.
Theater 3000 sort of version of YouTube,
Sure.
essentially,
Yeah.
where they get a bunch of people watch the video and make fun of it, and
We
like,
should do something like that.
I don't fucking know how. If you can figure out how to host it so that we can do that, I'm
Oh.
absolutely fine with that. I've tried. I can't make videos play.
The joke was we've already done that.
Oh yeah.
I still think it'd be a decent idea to try to come up with the. I think I did send a thing to you about it, but like go cover a news story or something, and then try to figure out the weirdest conspiracy,
Yeah.
like what could possibly be really happening. But you know,
Oh.
bullshit, obviously. But like
Put on the
strangest-
tinfoil hat.
Yeah, and like make
Yeah.
shit up. But then I was like, oh shit, I think Alex Jones kind of already does that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we
Craig
would
got
know
that
that it was
covered.
bullshit. Well, I guess he kind of does too a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to come up. I would want to come up with something that technically could be possible, like not crazy. Well, I mean,
Oh,
crazy,
just super
but not-
improbable. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the thing I wanted to say about
I'll do
Reading
that. We're doing
Before
it.
we move too far on,
Sorry.
before we move too far on, because we got to Chatterbox, I want to say the thing about Reading Ren that I respect is
Oh.
they ask for money because that's what they do to make money.
Right.
They're like, yeah, like we'd appreciate donations, and she'll like show her boobs and stuff like that, or you know, she'll wear pasties on the stream or something, and like, so there's like, they're not being like weird about it. They're just like, yeah, we'd love to get
They're
some
not
money. And we
inventing
appreciate any
crises.
donations. Yeah,
They're not inventing a crisis that they need solved by your
Yeah.
money.
they're like, yeah, we want to go get some fucking liquor to help us, you know, tolerate this shit just a little bit more. So if you can throw like $5 our way, that's a
Help us tolerate
bottle
life
of booze.
just a few more minutes
Yeah.
with your donations.
And I enjoy that show. I try to catch it when I can. They stream a lot, so it's hard to catch all of them. But I try to catch them when I can, and they're fun.
Yeah, I think I followed them for a while, but I had to cut down on how many people I was following, and they just didn't make the cut.
That was fucking. That was just snap for a moment right there. Yeah, they just didn't make the cut.
Yeah. Oh no, you know what it was? She was one of the people that when the whole thing with Liz and Failure went down, she was on one of the streams with Failure talking a lot of shit about Liz, dude.
Oh,
and
really?
then kind of went back. Yeah. Because
Oh,
you know how failure and cognitive thought tend to fucking go really overboard if anybody criticizes them like at all. And
oh yeah,
fucking-
like when I criticized Failure in Tonka.
yeah.
I
Although I
thought that was
missed
funny. Like a lot of people are like,
That's
"Oh shit, you
kinda
fucked
fun.
up now, son." I'm like, "You mean I can just not read comments and not care?"
Yeah, that doesn't occur. That possibility doesn't occur to those types at all, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like
Yeah, but then you're just shutting down conversation and you're avoiding other points of view.
Oh yeah.
You know,
instead
Like-
of just not
like you
caring.
don't- if you don't give every single crazy person like your full attention for 2 weeks nonstop, then you're
Yeah.
purposely avoiding the other side or something.
One
It's
of
like,
those
come on.
comments was that we should get rid of Mike because he's holding us back. So I'm not. I think to
Oh,
be fair, I probably should have
Yeah.
just ignored them.
I guarantee.
Well, no, that's pretty solid advice. But I mean, other than
I
that,
am.
no.
I am holding you guys back from going completely off the deep end. Like I just say that right now.
Yeah, that's why we need to get rid of you. We need to go off the deep end.
Yeah. I guess that's what that guy wants. Like he's like, take it to its natural conclusion, kill this Mike guy, and enact world fucking a new world.
Screw him and his voice of reason bullshit.
Yeah, I stopped watching a lot of failure stuff because at a certain point they were just playing like fucking, was it Grand Theft Auto constantly?
Oh, really?
No, I stopped following them when the whole this is not all that entertaining, man. Like, it's cool and all, but
yeah, no, it's almost like they should have been just Skyping with each other, or you know what I mean, like
Let's Plays
they were doing to just entertain themselves.
Remember when Let's Plays were new and you could just watch a Let's Play and it was interesting? It's like now Let's Plays to me are very masturbatory, where it's like nothing real important is going to be said in any of these videos, like ever, basically, right?
Well, and I think they stopped concentrating as much on gameplay because that's just not what sells to the kiddies.
No, it's the personality of the people playing the game that
but I mean,
sustains your audience. Like, the game is what brings in new people.
I want to watch people playing a game and get enough of an idea about the game as to whether or not I want to play it. It's almost like seeing a review for me.
Exactly. Right. Oh yeah, Let's Plays are great for that. But it's like, when was the last time like anyone had a meaningful conversation during a Let's Play? It just seems to be more of a rare thing these days.
Yeah. That's one of the things I miss about Lore Master Noja's stuff.
Sure.
For anybody who doesn't know, if you go back and watch the Lore Master Noja's videos, like there's a lot of Minecraft stuff on there and a lot of other games where like they actually get into real conversations, and it's way more fun than a lot of the other Let's Plays in my mind.
I remember watching a Let's Play of Icebreakers where they talked about like feminism for like 30 minutes, and I was like, that was like they didn't solve like world issues or anything, but it's like they had a meaningful conversation, and you'll probably remember it later on sometime. As opposed to like, the cop just blew up and my car flipped over, and it's it's like interesting stuff to see it at the time, but you're not going to really remember it.
Everybody scream, cat.
Or everyone screams at the same time.
Yeah, it's like shout playing essentially. I don't know,
but I guess it's good that it's gotten to that point, because it's like, it's mainstream. Like, we did it.
Well, I think part of that,
like, we did it, guys. The gamers did it. It's a thing. You can watch people play games, and it's a thing now. And they're talking about watching people play games to the Olympics now.
In the chat, to acknowledge the chat again, Nish is talking about Neebs Gaming is the future cinematic gameplay. It's a live playthrough RPG that's then edited into a story. And I was like, that actually sounds kind of interesting. So I definitely recommend people check it out. I'm going to take a look at that myself. It just sounds interesting.
That's machinima, basically, right?
But it doesn't sound quite the same as like, because they're not. Well, it depends. Are they changing the story of the game to make an entirely new story, or are they just showing the story of the game?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
That would be the dividing line, I would think.
When he said cinematic gameplay, my instant thought was like, back in the 80s, I remember seeing like this documentary where it was like a melding of video games and movies, where you go into a theater, and it was like choose your own adventure movies, basically, and it's like, this is the thing of the future. And it's like, all fucking movies will be like this someday. And it was like some crappy like Terminator ripoff that they were demonstrating it with.
There was a detective game where all the gameplay was done through clips of movies.
Okay, yeah. Like
Where the hell was it playing that?
And so like, you'd go through and you'd ask a question. Like, you'd have a selection like A, B, C, or D questions that you could ask, little dialogue options, and then the actors would act out whatever the response to that dialogue was.
That's actually coming back.
Yeah.
Like Night Trap, I think they're remaking or re-releasing Night Trap, which was like a huge full motion video game where it was like, help prevent the guys from raping the girl, or you could just let them rape the girl. And it would show, and it would like show it, but it was like ghetto kid friendly versions of girls getting raped.
I was gonna say I thought they did a lot of porn that way, like a choose your own adventure porn bullshit.
Well, now it's
Yeah, in fact, I think Zoe Quinn was trying to do that, dude.
Well, that's
Trying to make a movie about something like that.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to fuck her? Do you want to fuck her? A, doggy style. B, like you got all these different choices, and then you get to choose the next scene. And then the actors, they get paid for doing all 5 scenes. So it's like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
He said,
I gotta check out this. Yeah, I definitely got to check out the Neebs Gaming. It sounds intriguing.
Neebs Gaming promoted. You picked the worst fucking place to promote something ever.
Yeah,
like,
really.
The 5 people that are watching, that's probably that like 3 of them are us. Let's be honest. Like,
yeah.
You promoted officially.
I have to watch the chat, so like I keep the chat up and open. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Although I might forget about it.
Yeah, we forget about it sometimes.
Yeah, I think choose your own adventure porn and movies and stuff are going to be like a thing with virtual reality more than anything else.
Right.
But VR is already
something that's more interactive, more immersive.
I hear 2 things about VR. A, VR is already dead, and B, VR is the future of the world. Like there doesn't seem to be
dead, but
a middle ground. No, I'm holding you guys back again.
Oh no. No, I think VR is going to be one of those things that like it's not going to be a huge thing. It's just going to be a quiet little thing off and it doing its own thing. But it's going to be successful. I don't think it's just going to like fade away until it reaches like some level where they can have some sort of like sensory thing or whatever. Like if you want to make
a sensory suit.
Yeah, if you want to make it huge, make it so people can come when they use it.
All right. Yeah, something that actually feels like a badge.
The porn industry
really
can drive many things forward.
Yeah, so you watch your VR porn, and as like the guy is, pumping into the girl, it's pumping on your dick or whatever, some sort of machine.
Yeah, well, they had a thing like that where this chick, something you put on your cock, and like this porn chick would suck on it or whatever on the main thing, wherever she was at, and it would actually. It would actually activate and kind of, respond to that pressure on your cock at home.
Oh, absolutely. We've got dick machines, right? Like you could go on Amazon or some fucking store right now, like put your dick in it.com, and you could find like a dick sucking device. All you'd have to do is hook that up to like an on and off switch and be like, look, she's pleasuring you.
I think everything that's out there right now, you still have to basically move yourself.
No, there's got to be electronic dick suckers.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to actually get some kind of machine that is, first of all, going to accurately represent the vagina, and then also be able to fucking move around without you fucking moving it.
Not accurately represent it.
Okay.
Accurately represent something better than a vagina.
Yeah.
You're assuming that the vagina is the pinnacle. What if man can invent something better?
Yeah. If science could get work on that, that would be an accomplishment.
A better vagina. It's vagina 2.0.
2.0.
So the Auto Blow 2. I'm scrolling through this article before I screen share it. I don't think it's something that I'm looking. I don't think there's anything I can't show.
I'm holding you guys back. I should just leave right now.
Okay, cool. So I can show it without worrying about it. Yeah. Mike, you were semi right. I don't think this is quite something that's going to work out the way. I don't think this is what they need to aim for. But well, I don't think anybody's going to buy it. Like I sure as shit wouldn't.
No,
yeah. When I heard about it, I had no interest in it.
Oh my god!
The future is here. Automatic penis milking machine is taking care of my wiener, and I'm loving it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like you just hook that up to a VR machine, and you're ready to go.
See what it is you put your penis in the sleeve here, and these beads just roll back and forth over the sleeve. Like it doesn't actually do any like pumping.
Oh.
So I don't know how like that doesn't like. In all honesty, that seems like it would do pretty much fucking nothing. Like it really wouldn't feel like it'd probably feel great, but not like.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it still would have to be. Yeah.
Still, I'm convinced we can build a device that will jerk you
all
off.
you need is a fucking piston.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
We can build
actually,
a
if they
device
really
that
put the
milks
right-
like 1,000 cows at once. We can make a dick milking device. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, one that applies.
Oh, look, it's
the right
working.
amount of
Look at
pressure.
it.
And
It's working.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. The beads just go up and down the sleeve. There's no actual pumping. And for me, it's like
It's like a hand job.
If they made that so that the sleeve itself moved in and out.
It's like a hand job from a
yeah,
hippie.
it's actually
Like there's a lot of beads involved.
Yeah, I just don't think it would really do a whole lot. I'm sure it feels good.
He's
they're
like,
on the,
look at
they're on the
me.
right.
This
They're
is the only
kinda
way
on
I've
the right
gotten
track.
laid in years.
They're kind of on the right track, but yeah,
Oh, no,
the
this is
technology's not
The
quite there yet.
fleshlight launch. What's this thing? What does that do?
Seriously.
I'm not
Automatic
sure if that does what-
hands-free portable device. You can take it anywhere.
Yeah. Well, if
Okay,
you think
let me
about
stop
it,
sharing for a second and make sure that I can.
Oh, we're probably getting like our stream has been taken down. Probably.
No, we haven't showed anything technically against the rules.
We're just going up to the bleeding edge.
launch. Jesus Christ.
Good lord.
Wait, are you supposed to put that? Are you
No,
supposed to put something in that, or are you supposed to put that in something?
I don't know.
They don't
Does my
show
cock go
how
in
it
there?
works.
Does my cock go in there? Does that go in my ass? I can't
Yeah.
figure it out.
Maybe it's a docking. Maybe you can practice docking with it.
Fully automated fleshlight experience for manual use or by connecting your toy to an interactive world. Brought to life by Fleshlight. Unfortunately, there's some images I can't show.
Or, fortunately, there's some images you can't see.
180
Is
strokes
it
per minute
unfortunate?
up to.
The audience
Well, if
would
you think
take
about
over.
it,
Here's the thing. Oh God, this thing is huge.
But hold on.
This
But
is
if
big
a
around.
girl,
It's like a dude's thigh.
hold on now. But if a girl uses a toy, that's like totally hot, right?
Oh, I
always.
don't see anything wrong with it. I used to own flashlights. They just got to be like too much mess to clean up and shit. Like it's impossible to put them out. They weren't bad. If you warm them up, they weren't really bad. It's just they weren't like a pussy.
You gotta put them in the microwave for a few minutes, for God's
No.
sakes. Did your mother teach you anything?
That would be insane. Now you use a heating pad set on low and you just fucking wrap it and let it fucking heat up for like 20, 30 minutes.
He's like, but they're just the devil to clean out, though.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, it's just a fucking tube of rubber
That
with
you're
all these
jizzing
different
in
little
over
ripples
and
and shit in
over
there.
again. Yeah, I wonder.
You can't, it's really hard to clean that shit out really effectively to the point where it's not going to be like fucking reeking of fucking rotted semen.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a bunch of fucking old jizz.
It's
just
gonna
stuck in
turn
there, just
orange after a
rotting,
while.
all flaky and that's fucking disgusting.
The jizz
the
box
thing is
was
about that-
orange.
I kind of assume there was some way for it to kind of fold inside out so you could clean it easily.
You can, but even then, it's still like it's
It just doesn't work.
it's partially the cleaning it out, but the other part is the drying factor.
All right.
So what about the
you can't-
used fleshlight market?
Oh God, I hope there isn't one. That's so
Not
disgusting.
booming.
Dude, search that, dude. Search used fleshlight, dude, please.
Fleshlights.
Oh, I don't want to know.
There's gotta be.
Please.
There has to be. All
Come on,
sorts.
Stabby. Don't get soft on us now.
Where can I
Pun
find a
intended.
used flashlight?
Oh no! They went to flashlights. No, not flashlights.
No, that I did not mean that. No.
Where can I buy a good used fleshlight? All right, here we go.
Oh man.
It's at bodybuilding.com.
I'm looking at that one right now.
This
They're
guy
not-
wants to stay in shape and fuck tubes.
Don't we all?
New ones are expensive. Anyone have a used one for sale? And then there's just a guy who
Oh,
his
fuck.
response is a meme of just a guy going, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Oh,
He's like-
fuck.
and then another guy, a skinny Asian guy, said, "You're better off just building your own, dude." Like,
You're better off buying, like, I don't know, raw steaks or
said-
something. Like,
another guy
goddamn.
said, "Hey, you could try to fuck a girl.
Wait, here we go.
That's not an option. Don't fucking be ridiculous.
Right.
No girl's gonna let me put my dick in her."
I'm a guy that's searching for used fleshlights. You think I get laid all the time?
Yeah, really.
Oh,
So
good.
this guy's selling 2 lightly used flashlights
Lightly used.
and $30 pick up $45 if he has to ship it to you. No trolls, please. And then his first response, dude,
Troll.
no one is going to buy them if they're fucking used. That shit is dirty.
The most obvious response.
They're only lightly used. He responds, it's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
Well, do you pull out of the fleshlight, or do you
use sex toys equal bad and not safe? How would you pull out? That's the point of having one.
Right.
And then somebody, is this a joke? Or are you really going to sell fleshlights? And then somebody's like, just laughing my ass off. I don't think this is allowed on here.
I wanted him to be like, no trolls, please. And then the first guy to pop up to have a big picture of a troll.
Yeah.
And just like lay one on him real thick.
You used the wrong aloud. You used aloud as in speaking aloud, not as in aloud as in it's acceptable.
Oh, wow.
Just wanted to point that out. I'm such an ass.
Yeah, no, that stuff drives me nuts too, man.
This dude is still going like, oh shit, this was in 2010, so I'm assuming he's either sold them or thrown them away by now.
He realized that he bought some fleshlights that he didn't like, and he was like, can I recoup some of my lost money on this?
Well, most of the ones I've seen look like vaginas or mouths. That one looks sort of like some weird alien shit. So
don't forget butts.
Or butts, yeah.
They've got to have butt-shaped ones.
Small fucking hole, dude.
Right? Really soft.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So it stretches pretty good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you can fit your cock into something that's only a little bit about the width of your finger, dude. That's
well, you want it to be tight, right? You know, I mean, you don't. want
It's nice and tight, not like that loose slut you're banging every night.
No, it looks like the
I don't know who I was talking
actually
to.
Actually, hook up to your computer and will pump according to like videos that you buy from Fleshlight.
Yeah, see, that's one step away from the porn.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, they're getting pretty close with the sex dolls, dude. And
I just
once they do, I think fucking a vast majority of guys are fucking going MGTOW, dude. Well, like if they actually perfect a sex robot, think about it though, man. Like women kind of need the companionship, and guys do a little, but mostly we just need to fuck, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to take a huge.
We're going straight caveman on this.
The power of women and their fucking vaginas, dude.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I wonder though. Here's the thing I wonder. How loud is it? Right, because it's first gen and it's some sort of piston thing. So you turn this thing on and just like everybody like for 5 or 6 hours down know you're doing it?
Yeah, this is true.
Well,
I mean, loud. I think a soundproof room will take care of that. That would be a small price to pay.
You have to fucking soundproof your room. You bought a fucking flashlight thing. Sorry. I'm just picturing somebody putting up that fucking like a weird coney like fucking like soundproofing material on their wall. Like it's like a 14-year-old kid or something, you know, it's like, look, Mom, I just want to play my music really loud, right?
This calls for the cone of silence.
And you have no instruments, son. Well, no, I need to get the soundproof first for the, like making excuses for
like the instruments in my pants, Ma.
All the reviews are good.
All the reviews are good.
Fantastic to say the least. If you own a flashlight, you have to have the launch. I don't bother with my girlfriend unless she starts it. The launch is the same or better in some cases than the real thing.
It's better than
after you use it a few times and get used to it. I'm only
gotta get used to it though.
How I prefer.
Yeah, see, I've never used any of those kind of products, dude. Like a flashlight or anything like that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Although I am curious, but I don't want to pay full price, so that's why I brought up the used.
Yeah, I stopped using my flashlights for a while simply because the stroking became tedious on the launch preview video, and knew I had to have it. It's a real game changer. Make every sleeve you have instantly better when you can just sit back and let the launch do all the work.
Oh, so it's something that fucking strokes for you, basically. Like you put your flashlight or whatever on, and it fucking. All right, because I only got like a small glimpse of the picture, and it looked like something that could either you could stick your dick in, or that meant violate your sphincter.
Yeah, unfortunately, like the rest of this stuff is a little more than I can show on the stream. But you can look up
Understood.
videos.
Yeah.
But it looks like essentially it's like a thing that's about as big around as like an average like woman's thigh, or maybe a little bigger
But,
around.
okay, so like no matter how good it feels or no matter how realistic we make it, like people are always gonna want to just fuck girls, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like that's
Yeah,
always
I don't
gonna
know,
be.
man. I think if you get a sex robot that can say, like, act remotely like a woman, dude, not even that,
Let's see.
not even like super convincing.
Okay, I was gonna say if you
need
could
the
get a
100,000
robot that you couldn't tell the difference from it, maybe
Yeah.
it'd be all right. You're like,
I
no,
think-
that isn't even
I don't
that
even
close.
know-
Just
actually,
one that just
I
kind
don't
of
even
sort
know
of
if it needs to
resembles a
talk.
woman sometimes.
I don't know. I don't
So
even
it
know if
looks
talking is a positive development, dude. Now that I think about it, what if it never said a goddamn thing? Would probably might
But
even be better. No, you'd get tired of it and you'd want to.
but isn't a girl? But isn't fucking a real life girl just gonna be better always though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. After some of my relationships, I might settle for fucking doll, dude, if it's realistic enough, dude.
Here in like 3 generations, when it's like sex robots have been around for like 50 years, kids are gonna be like, "Can you believe they used to like fuck each other? Like that's disgusting."
You know, like some kids will do it and they'll think they're weird and just fucked up.
Like, you fucking
Yeah.
another
It's
living
gonna be like
person.
Demolition Man.
If you want to get yourself a fleshlight and the fleshlight launch so you can have it stroke you for you, all told, bare minimum, you're looking at $300 plus tax and shipping.
Sounds like you're
Yeah.
selling DLC.
Yeah. Well, but then it only works with if you want to turn it on interactive. I think you have to buy videos from them as well, and I'm sure that's like,
Oh yeah, they got
20 or
some
30
sort
bucks
of
a video. So.
proprietary software that you have to use that works with their videos.
Well,
Probably.
you can also just set it to go on its own. You don't have to have it. You can just set it to go like at different speeds or whatever.
Yeah, but then it's not the interactive thing.
Let's
Then you
see.
can't pretend that you're
Interactive.
actually having sex with a girl.
Yeah. Is there an app, Stabby? Is there an app?
I'm looking at the interactive part right now. This is
There has to be
the
an
best
app.
part of the stream. There's a lot of titties on this I can't show.
They got an app for that.
There has to be an app.
Yeah. They got an app where you can just spend $1,000 to buy like a wallpaper of a diamond. So it's like you can have an app for anything now.
God damn.
It's like how magazines used to be. You could just have a magazine for walking. It's like now everything's got a fucking app. And it doesn't work. It's been updated 1,000 times and now it doesn't fucking work anymore. Good job.
It
Not that I'm
doesn't,
bad.
I don't see any videos on here.
He's looking for video.
No, like, do they sell you the video, like the interactive video? So you have to like,
Oh, that's what I assumed. I figured they were trying to lock
Yeah.
you into their ecosystem.
yeah. But I'm not seeing
Porn
it. They
ecosystem.
have cams.
Yeah. For legal reasons, they have to do that on a separate website.
Dude, think about that. Now you can combine it with live streaming and you can have a bunch of dudes all hooked up to their little dick machines, right?
No, dude, that's what I'm
And be-
saying.
And be watching a live stream, and then the live stream girl can be like, "Okay, everybody, ready for fucking number 7?"
Yeah.
No, there was. I'm
looks
serious, dude. There was.
And
a
then they're all
fucking
gonna
chick that was
donate
doing
to it.
that.
They're gonna be like, "Do a number 9."
All right, let's
Yeah,
see.
it was something that, like a cock, obviously, that she would suck on and then respond to the pressure and would send
Nice.
out to the guys, and it would actually work the fucking thing they had on their cock.
But yeah, but that's brilliant. Now she can blow like, okay, you know how
Millions.
Yeah, prostitutes are normally limited to blowing like only so many people at once. But now, thanks to the future technology that we've developed, you can literally blow millions of people at the same time from all around the world.
Theoretically, it is possible to give every guy a blowjob on the planet.
Some girls are like,
Theoretically.
really? Like, I never knew that I wanted to try that, but
But yes, I can take my sluttiness to a whole new level.
it's like the Super Saiyan of being a slut. Take it to the next level.
Okay, so they sell fake dicks you can put down your pants to look like you got packing something big.
Okay, guys.
What the fuck is the point?
It was a joke at first, but I really do drag the show down because before I joined the show, you were talking about like political asylum for refugees.
Actually,
And now we're talking about automatic dick machines.
that's funny. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. It's just the shit is funny to me.
It is funny. I said a funny thing just then.
No, dude. Dude, that's kind of what I love about the show, man. Fucking shit just goes where it goes. You know, nobody's
right
like
down into
no,
the gutter, though.
we got to get back to the format. Like, no, let's fucking talk, and wherever the fuck it goes, it goes.
Yeah.
So you can have talking points in case shit breaks down, but fuck it.
All right. So if you're caught fucking a sex robot in an Islam country that practices Sharia law, you get your head cut off, right? Like that's just as bad as being gay, right?
No, yeah, they can fuck animals, and only the animals become unclean somehow. So fuck that.
Well, yeah, because you're jizzing in them.
Yeah.
So it's all nasty.
You're only not allowed.
It's like a fleshlight. You can never clean it out again.
Well, but you're only not allowed to eat like the goat yourself. You're like you and your immediate family aren't allowed to eat the goat. Like your tribe, other tribes.
If you can sell it to the Jews. Like here you go.
So to other tribes of Islam. You know, not even just to the Jews.
Wow.
Just not your own tribe.
That's nuts.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to watch out for your own tribe first. It's like the other tribes are less than.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, dude. That you could actually sell it to another Muslim and it would be fine. That seems nuts to me.
Well, it's like in the Bible, they've got this thing where it's like a Jew can't own another Jew, except, and then there's a bunch of loopholes that make it fucking totally possible for a Jew to own another Jew.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, dude.
That's a quality system of law right there. Like, look, man, we don't think you should have slaves, but if you want to, here's how you do it.
Yeah, it's like, but let's say you did. Here's how you'd go about it. First, you need to get them married to a slave, all right? And it even just lays out the steps of doing it. It's like, okay.
Wow. It's insane, dude. Fucking religion.
Yeah, religion's crazy.
Does anyone else feel like religion has outlived its youthfulness? It's actually making the world worse nowadays.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, dude, I assume, like, way back
be fair.
Years ago.
I want to be fair and say, no, religion still does some good. But seriously, anything religion does good, you could do it without the religion. like all that good stuff, you could literally do it and just ditch the religion and just do that stuff and it'd be fine.
Yeah. No, and I've kind of felt this way for probably the last 20 years. I'm like, okay, I understand religion probably played a huge part in forming civilization initially. But like at this point, it seems like if you fucking balance it out, it doesn't seem to be fucking more good than bad. Or even, like you said, the good could be replaced by other things, dude.
I don't even know if it was necessarily super helpful back in the day. Like, I'm not convinced that if we had ditched it early on, we wouldn't just be better off now.
Yeah, it's possible, but
there's no way of knowing, unfortunately.
I can see how, laying down the laws and having the threat of a fucking, omnipotent being to fucking kick your ass, may have kept a few people in line. Dude.
But again, like, you just kick their ass without omnipotent God.
But I think there's a small group of people who just, like, without religion, they just would fucking have no idea what to do.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But you think about a guy that's bigger and stronger than everybody.
I feel like that's the type of people that have been raised in a religious society that have been taught that that's the only, like, that's it. That's the most important thing. And then when they find out it's kind of nonsense, then they kind of they don't have any foundation because their foundation was nonsense.
I was going to say that I think you can just teach them, like, better than that. Like, you can give them another.
But I think you're right, Stabby. There are people that are inherently, they're going to be more superstitious than other people. Not even necessarily religious. Yeah. Just more likely, maybe a little more gullible than the average person, ready to believe.
They're going to be followers. They're not going to be. They're going to be sheep. Dude.
They're just ready to believe stuff a little bit more easily than other people.
Well, and I'd like to have something a little more benign though available. You know what I mean?
But yeah, you're right. There's still a lot of people that need to be told what to think, dude.
But modern Christianity is the benign version. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, it's the most benign version of what we have right now.
Of what? Yeah, exactly. Of what we have.
It'd be nice if we came with something a little better. Like
we will, as long as we don't like fall back and become like, super extremist again. Like, is there a danger of that now? I feel like there's a danger of that in this country now, where it's like, are we going to become the extremists?
Well, we're in the middle of a moral panic. Like, it's similar to the moral panic that was in the 50s, but it's from the other side. And it's pretty cyclical in the way that it works. Like, so, there's going to be more and more of this. It's going to hit a crescendo. Yay, words.
Or a credenza. Crescendo, credenza, whatever.
And then it's going to crash. And then
it's like a swinging pendulum.
Yeah, and then the other side is going to be like the one inciting the next moral panic, because it's going to slowly build more and more power.
But when you listen to what some of like the founding fathers said about religion and God, it's like we've lost ground since then.
Yeah.
Like 200 years ago.
Incredibly enlightened. Like, there's very few people nowadays that are as enlightened as they were in the 70s.
We need a new enlightenment.
Like, we could do it with another Renaissance, dude. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be good.
We need people to somehow understand that, like, just because someone says something doesn't mean it's fucking true because they're on TV.
Yeah. Right. Or because they have a lot of followers on YouTube, or because,
the next generation is becoming more aware of that because they're exposed to so many things on the internet, and only if a finite number of things can actually be true. Yeah, so they're finding that the majority of things are not true. Like, please let that continue.
No, I was going to say, it became so easy to say, like, well, and I'm a Christian like you, vote for me, and sort of shortcut a lot of the natural, like, doubts that people would have about, like, do we really want this guy to have all this power? Then they're like, oh, but he says he's a Christian and I'm a Christian, so we have this same set of values, so I know he wouldn't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
People believed it for so long.
Because there's only one type of Christianity in America.
But even then, you're better than them heathen non-Christians. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because they're the outsiders. They're the other village.
Yeah, because they might not, they might prefer a Catholic to a Protestant or whatever, but they're certainly going to prefer a Protestant to a fucking Muslim or something, But
I think there is some hope coming up, though, because you remember, like, there was a huge push to be, like, in Syria in war. Like, big time, totally occupying Syria. And we're barely playing a role in it. So, like, that's the first time.
Most of the public didn't want it, though, right? I mean, I think the powers that be wanted to fucking go into Syria. Most of the public was like,
the industrial complex was gunning for it. But, for the first time in a long time, the people were just like, you're fucking no.
Yeah.
And the government was like, I guess we can't do it then. Shit.
Right.
Like,
yeah, because you gotta have the people. It was pretty much a propaganda push by everybody, man. I mean, how many news stations were like, no, we shouldn't go into Syria at all, And still, despite all that, like, fucking public opinion was like, no, we don't need to go into Syria.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if, like, we're making some improvements and it's just not very obvious because the propaganda machine is so fucking high pitched right now. It's just pumping it as fast as it can.
Yeah. I'm always suspicious of whatever, and it's like you said, if Fox and CNN are agreeing on something, be very, very afraid, dude.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say, you mean the news, which has basically just become a propaganda machine for whatever they want to sell, basically.
Pretty much, exactly. Right now they want to sell a land war in North Korea, and I'm hoping it won't fucking sell. Like, so write your congressman and be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, money off of fucking American lives in North Korea. Don't try this shit.
I remember when journalists, so I watch a lot of movies from the 1930s and 40s, and it's like, what, this dame thinks she can be a newspaper reporter, and but they worked their ass off to go out there and get the story and find the truth, and they're like, the public has a right to know the truth. Do we have that anymore?
Well, and now you talk about ethics in journalism class and everybody fucking laughs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you're so fucking stupid.
Yeah, or objectivity, dude.
Yeah.
Which,
okay.
I mean, again, objectivity is like, objectivity has all been impossible, but now it's not even attempted, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like they used to at least try, I think, or maybe not. Maybe that fucking never happened. But it seems like objectivity they used to at least try.
Here's the thing was the objectivity was clearly differentiated. Like the reporter would do the story, and then sometimes they might be like, in this reporter's personal opinion, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
like,
they might editorialize a little bit
very
after the
clear
fact
that this is not part of the story. This is just their personal thing, and they usually wouldn't even do that because it's like keep your personal shit out of it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Back before the, you know, they were essentially part of the same team before the media became. Yeah, were we on air when you were talking about how there's only very few people actually own all the media, like all the stations and all that?
Oh yeah, all the news stations are owned by like 2 or 3 corporations or something. Like it's a very few people because everything's owned by
they're
a corporation.
Essentially a mouthpiece. They're a propaganda mouthpiece for, and that should, you know, for the government.
There's so many umbrella
or the
corporations.
government might be a mouthpiece for them, really. Since they're the, you know, most of the corporate guys are, you know, the ones that are corrupting
Part
the
of the problem is that there's so many umbrella corporations that people don't realize that these 2 companies that call themselves 2 different things are actually the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're branded as 2 totally different things.
But they're actually under a bigger. They're both 2 subsidiaries.
They're both owned by this company that's both owned by this company. So it's like,
in perspective, all the food you buy is from one of 3 corporations.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
it's like 3 corporations own like 99% of the food manufacturing.
What is one of them? Like Nestle? Like
one of them is Monsanto, I assume.
Like, good lord.
Yeah, it's like Monsanto, Nestle, and Yum.
Yum. That sounds delicious.
Yum owns like all the fast food.
Oh wow.
So like Burger King, Taco Bell, Domino's.
Yeah.
Let me look that up real quick.
All the
I thought Pepsi owned. I thought most of those were owned by the soft drink companies.
No, Yum is the.
I think it's actually getting worse because I think I just heard news recently about like another fast food chain being acquired by some big giant umbrella corporation somewhere. And it's like, oh wow, this corporation is just like owning all of the fast food chains. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I wonder is the restaurant business one of those ones where the price to start up has gotten ridiculously high over the last 50 years as well?
I'm probably every business is like that.
Yeah. Well, no, Stabby was saying like even corrected for inflation, like the cost to start up businesses nowadays is like at least 3 or 4 times what it was in like the 60s or 70s.
It's way higher. It's way harder. And you can't compete because bigger giant corporations that get more benefits than you and already have more money than you can throw their weight around.
Yeah, I was just wondering if restaurants kind of fell. Well, I assume it does. Almost has to. Why? Yeah. Why would it be different? But yeah, I mean, fast food is okay, but usually, you know, a sit-down restaurant like a mom and pop restaurant, it can be fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want that going away.
Pretty much a given. There are 10 companies that control the world's food.
Wow, the entire world. That's fucking nuts.
They control.
You remember how monopolies were a bad thing? And it's like here's the ultimate monopoly at the most basic level, where it's like you own the food that people have to eat to survive, and it's like 10 people.
Yeah, and obviously that corporation is easily going to have politicians in their pocket, so there's no fucking breaking them up.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to find a list.
It's so easy to pay off a politician legally now, where it's like shit might get started if you brought it up and like made a big story about it in the news, but it's like most of that shit's completely legal now because it's like they wanted it to be that way. It's easier that way.
Slowly move the line back and back and back. You know,
it's like the king can't break a law because the king can just be like, "Well, the new law is this," and it's like, well, the problem with that is, like, there's no limit. Where does it stop? You keep moving the goalpost.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, take that. I'm gonna solve the world's problems.
List, computer, give me a fucking list. Okay, here we go.
Fucking list.
Here's the companies that control the world's food: Associated British Foods, Coca-Cola, Groupe Danone, General Mills, Kellogg, Mars, Mondelez International, Nestle, PepsiCo,
Pepsi,
Unilever Group, and that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I know Pepsi owns like KFC. I think they own quite a bit of the restaurants too.
Area of PepsiCo. That's what I was.
Okay, I gotcha.
Umbrella corporations.
Yeah. Right. I was going to say, a lot of the soft drink companies own a lot of the restaurants, and obviously those restaurants are going to be using Coke or Pepsi products.
Hold on now. Imagine if all of those companies had to get rid of all that shit, and they all had to be called whatever their parent company was called. Right. So, like, every product out there would be labeled one of these 10 things, basically. Yeah. Do you think people would start to understand at that point, like how oh my God, like everything is owned by these people?
You want to go to the Pepsi restaurant or the Pepsi restaurant?
Exactly.
Or we could always go to the Pepsi restaurant.
The Pepsi restaurant that sells chicken or the Pepsi restaurant that sells pizza. Or they've combined them all.
Your only real option at this point is like a local farmer's market.
No, but they've all been put out of business.
No, you can use the local farmers market and support like local farmers. That's the best you can do.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant like local small businesses.
Where no, like a local farmers market where you're supporting people that literally are growing the food.
Yeah, the farmers
directly to you.
Yeah.
No, we still actually have one of those.
Like this,
and it's still being promoted.
There, like 95% of the food. I'm sure it's not 100%, but it's still mostly dangerous.
Yeah.
And this isn't even counting Monsanto, who probably supplies like 90% of all of the grain that everybody uses in all 10 companies.
Okay. Right.
Which is didn't great they have a thing where it was almost illegal to not use Monsanto's grain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking something crazy like that, where if you tried to use non-Monsanto grain, it was illegal.
Well, it's like you're not legally allowed to show slaughterhouse footage anymore.
Dude, that's
I don't know if you guys know that.
Dude.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they hiding from us?
Well, you know, like the vegetarians always used to like get footage of like the terrible situation in like slaughterhouses, as if like mass killing of anything is going to be a pretty sight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, but they would always like, look, here's an example of a person who's clearly like just abusing a bunch of animals before they get slaughtered, and saying that that's how all slaughterhouses operate.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree that that's fucked up.
Although something like veal, if veal has really come about the way that I've been led to believe, like I can't eat veal, dude. Like I cannot fucking do it.
But it's so delicious.
It's so tender and delicious because they never move their muscles their entire life.
I've had veal. So when I was a kid, someone fed me veal like every time I went over to their house. They were like, "Oh, you want some veal?" And they were just like, "It's just like a really good steak." And I'm like, "Sure." I probably ate veal for like 6 years before someone explained exactly what it was, and I was like, "No, like I can't believe what I've become."
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. So yeah, something like that's a little different than, you know, the way they mass slaughter other, you know, actual cows and adult cows and that kind of shit.
Well, mass slaughter is just not going to be happy no matter what. Like, you are killing large amounts of animals.
Yeah. If you're killing 1,000 cows a day, you're gonna fuck up.
Right.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna get people who don't belong in that job, who do it because they want to hurt the cow, because that's just an outlet for whatever.
They're fucking sadistic motherfuckers. Yeah.
Or because they're just so sickened by what they're doing because they can't handle it because they're too sensitive that they sort of like end up going around the bend the other way.
They're
angry at being forced to do this horrible thing on the animal they're doing it to. Sort of like prison guards. You start beating on the prisoners because they just get so angry about how awful the whole situation
fucked up the conditions are. So they make it worse. Yeah.
I can't wait till we can just grow a steak. Like we don't need
Without,
to.
like, a nervous
We don't
system
have
or
to
anything.
grow the rest of the cow. We can just grow a steak. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Like,
then people are going to tell you that the steak is alive and it fucking has feelings.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't have a brain, so I'm cool.
Well, I mean, I don't know,
Like
man.
if the steak doesn't have a brain, then it's like it's not going to experience any pain. It's delicious too.
I've dealt with cows firsthand. I'm not particularly concerned about eating them. They're not terribly
He
bright.
said, "I'm not." Yeah, yeah. Cows ain't saving the world. First of all,
Right.
like that.
And they're not living full imaginative lives.
The reason they exist is because we fucking bred them to exist so that we could slaughter them.
And let's keep in mind, nothing in nature, like that lives wild, dies of old age.
Yeah, very
They
rarely.
either get horribly sick and
Sharks, maybe.
die,
Yeah, very
break a bone and
rarely
die,
would
or
something
fucking get
die of old
murdered
age.
by something.
Because if you're old and you're part of the herd, you start falling behind a little bit.
Yeah.
The
But
cheetahs,
The old age
cheetahs
is what
get you.
killed you. It's the cheetah that kills you.
Right. Yeah, or even if you're a lion, like another
You
lion.
don't go to
could
sleep
easily
one
kill you when
day.
you get too old.
Deer don't go to sleep one day and then just not wake up.
Right.
They break a leg and starve to death because they can't get to food or get eaten.
Mhm.
They get sick and either starve to death or get
Or
eaten.
they get a hole in their leg and it just
Yeah.
like festers and rots for like 3 weeks and they die horribly.
Or if they're or some fucking mountain lion shows up and just rips out their throat.
Like, yeah. Like a lot of these animals' lives are infinitely superior, even though they are like in bondage, basically.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying they're superior. I'm just saying, like,
At least
put it in
living in-
perspective. It's not like if we let all the cows
Oh, I
go,
do.
they live happy lives forever.
I think
and
being
ever.
in a pen, being fed
Yeah.
like grass all the time and being safe and shit is way better than like, oh my god, the fucking lion's coming. Like,
Yeah, oh, you know, my
I think
personal
it's
opinion,
better.
I agree. I'm just, yeah. I just think people need to be less fucking removed. Like, be a little more realistic about, like, maybe kids should fucking kill chickens in school.
Yeah. No, that's why I was so angry. Not angered, but just couldn't understand why people were debating vegan gains about fucking veganism and meat eating. I'm like, this is so goddamn pointless. Like, you're not really changing anybody's mind, for one thing, and it's just fucking pointless, dude.
Oh, and who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to eat meat, eat meat. If you don't, don't.
Yeah, maybe someday you'll get a vast majority of people saying that you can't, but I can't see that happening ever, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I think
part of
it'll
the
just
benefit.
it'll be a non-issue when we just grow the meat.
Well, and it's
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the benefit of being at the top of the food chain is you eat what you want or don't eat what you
Right.
don't want.
Yeah.
You want to eat an apple, eat an apple. You want to
Well,
eat
the
a steak, eat a
technology.
The
steak.
thing is, they want to. In their mind, they're saving the animals.
They're
Yeah.
so full of shit.
Well, you know what
They're
that
so-
old joke, right? Like, how do you know there's a vegan at the party? Oh, don't worry, they'll find you.
They will let you know. Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk identity politics. Vegans are like the original ones of this
Oh.
is who I am.
You know, but the funny thing is, like, I've hung out with vegans before, and they don't give a shit. A lot of
Oh,
them.
really? Mhm.
Yeah, I've partied with vegans. They're like, they just don't eat meat. They don't care what you eat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's
they
kind of
might-
like
they're
the
not
SJW
front of
types.
I mean,
It's just a very loud and vocal minority.
I'm
Yeah.
a light meat eater. Like I don't eat meat all the time with every meal.
Yeah.
And if I have the choice, a lot of times it's like, yeah, I'll probably just have like the vegetable version or whatever. But it's like sometimes I just want some good old fashioned meat.
Yeah, it's delicious, dude.
Well, like today, I made a chicken cabbage stew, and it was mostly cabbage and onions. It was like two big old cabbages, 2 big onions, and then like 4 chicken breasts. So like altogether,
Yeah.
you're really not getting a lot of chicken compared to the amount of cabbage you're getting. Cabbage was at least 80% of the meal.
Yeah, if I eat anything with rice, dude, like I eat way more rice than I do of any of the actual meat, dude.
Oh, I can't do rice anymore. I'm not supposed to because of my blood sugar.
Oh, really?
My fucking,
Really?
my the doctor was like, you got to just stop eating like white rice. You got to eat brown rice.
Oh, really? Oh,
Really?
okay.
But I'm not sure how much better that is. I need to look it up at some point, like how much better wild rice is than rice. Because because wild rice.
Well, no, I heard there's a lot more nutrients in the husk that they take off. Because my mom actually sold some kind of weird product that was just the rice husks that was supposed to be really good for you.
Sort of like bran.
Nice.
Because that's what bran is. Bran is the husks from like the grain.
Oh, it is.
From wheat grains or something like that. It's the husk ground up.
Yeah. Well, this was some kind of weird drink, dude, but yeah.
Yeah, the thing I got is wild rice, which isn't technically rice. It's like a seed pod from a certain kind of grass up in like Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
It's where the most of it grows. So I'm interested to see how that stacks up against brown rice.
What the hell is rice then?
Rice is a different kind of grain. They're two different kinds of plants.
Ah, okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the same as a rice plant at all. It's like different in every way. And the nutritional value is supposedly like, here, I'm gonna look it up now. Now I'm fucking talking about it. I might as well find
out. Yeah. It turns out Stabby's just making up weird rice conspiracies.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Dude, fucking anybody who's listening who's like, I don't know if he's right. Fucking probably not.
It turns out that was just some weird dream.
You know what? Probably not. No, I love that. Just admitting the fact that you could be wrong is a thing, because so often I hear YouTubers just state things as fact that are completely wrong, or even worse, state opinion as like objective fact.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's so refreshing to just be like, you know what? You should check that.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Double check the facts just in case. Like, I think I'm right. I'm not trying to mislead you on purpose.
Yeah,
but there's a chance.
I get in trouble with that a lot. I'm a lot better about it now, but yeah, I never used to check any of that kind of shit, and I'd just like, oh, really? And then later on, I'd find out like that was total fucking bullshit. So now I'm like, all right, I'm not taking anything for granted.
Yeah,
especially from Stabby.
Here we go.
Yeah, Stabby's a regular guy.
So brown rice has 84 milligrams of potassium per cup. Wild rice has 166.
Wow, like double.
Brown rice has 162 milligrams of phosphorus. According, wild rice has only 134 milligrams.
Boo.
Wild rice has magnesium. It has more fiber, and it has 6.5 grams of protein per cup.
Okay.
Brown rice has 5 grams. And it has less fiber than slightly less fiber, and it's the seed of wheatgrass, which I assume is not the same as wheat, where they wouldn't specify wheatgrass.
No, wheatgrass is the shit they put in fucking like those really healthy drinks where it's all nasty and tastes like dirt. Yeah,
I think wheat is just a form of grass that's been like altered like over the years.
No, wheat's grown that way for a while. I mean, I know we domesticated it, but it was still a pretty well, it'd just be a huge grass, the way some grasses are really huge.
But yeah, so
your mom's a huge grass.
Wild rice is actually substantially better for heart health, for like blood pressure and shit. It's much better, and it's also better for blood sugar. So now I know.
Nice.
I got like a fucking.
The more you learn,
I better fucking have some.
Yeah.
What is it? You also know like bananas are about potentially could go extinct.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I only recently found out that they're actually
structure is so it's so limited.
Yeah, the clones, the Cavendish, I guess, is the main one that most people eat.
Yeah, that one might go extinct. Yeah. But there's a whole mess of other kind of bananas, and I'm like, why don't they just start fucking crossbreeding and shit?
Yeah. Well, no, they're essentially
Cavendish
clones.
Is delicious. Find other kinds of bananas. Crossbreed them with Cavendish and see if you get better bananas, man.
Well, wasn't there there was another banana before that was like the dominant type of banana, and
it went extinct.
It did go extinct because the genetic structure was so shallow, like there was no diversity left in the genetic structure.
Yeah,
it was
so
just
they're all
the
clones.
same exact. It was just a clone. So if one of them was susceptible to a genetic disease, all of them were susceptible
They
to it.
all get wiped out.
And
Yeah.
that's what's going on with like the bananas we have now. Yeah.
Yeah. Although again, a banana is
so
actually a
popular.
cross of two different plants to begin with, right? There was one that like it's basically a banana, but it has a shitload of big ass seeds. But
Yeah,
then when they
like there was
cross them, it gets rid of the
plantains.
big ass seeds.
Yeah.
Well, and then from what I've heard, like the original banana, the one that died out, like banana flavoring is based on that flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So they used to be like when you eat like fake banana flavor, they used to taste like that,
It used to taste like that, yeah.
Mm.
which
I
is
think it was-
probably not true.
I think it was
Right.
something like the Gros Michel or banana or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know, man, but that's fucking funny that like they did it once already and we're like, fuck, well, better do it again. Just fucking let's do the same shit.
Hey, let's pretend there were people watching. How many people do you think would still be watching after our banana talk?
Hold on. Banana fact. Gros Michel is literally translated to Fat Michael
Oh,
and was the a French export until the 1950s. And then that
So-
stopped.
Can we call you Gros Michel or
Sure. Yeah, I was a big fat guy when I was a kid.
All right,
No.
so yeah.
Big fat guy
From
now?
now on, the running jokes are that 40 Mike is dragging down the show, and then Gros Michel.
Because I'm so fat. I'm dragging the show down because I'm so fat
Come on, Gros Michel, stop dragging us down.
from eating all those bananas.
I don't know. I feel like if there's going to be somebody called fat, it should probably be me because I'm probably bigger than you are.
Yeah, but that's an old joke.
Oh, I guess fair enough. We
Yeah.
need fucking class holes back.
We need to do jokes. Yeah, we need to make more racist black jokes.
He was the one that made all of them. I don't think we really made any of them.
He did make some pretty bad ones, didn't he?
Oh man, I like the African bit though. That shit was hilarious because he was only half black. He was like, "I'm African."
African. Jesus.
African.
God damn.
Hey, if we,
Yeah.
I think that he's going to get enough money in his life to be considered white. Like he's going to
You know, that was
college.
his goal. He stated that was his goal. So
I know, dude. He's doing it. He's like OJ.
Going for it.
He will be white.
the ultimate test: can you kill a white woman and get away with it?
Yeah. Okay, class hole.
Uh,
We've coached you up until this point, but now it's the ultimate test. Kill a white woman.
kill a
like,
blonde white woman.
Where are all the white women at?
Oh man, have
Come
you
on
ever seen? Have you guys seen Dave Chappelle's 2 New Hours on Netflix?
Yes.
His little double comedy thing.
I've
He has some
seen Dave
great stuff on
Chappelle's-
fucking O.J. Simpson.
Everything. Oh yeah, where he where he meets OJ Simpson like 4 times in his life.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I think I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen both of them though.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. No, Chappelle. I fucking love Chappelle.
When Chappelle retired
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was like, there goes the greatest comedic genius of our time. Like I was just
Oh, yeah.
devastated when he quit. I was like,
Dude,
"No."
Chappelle's show.
watched I was-
God damn, Chappelle's show was fucking genius.
Yeah,
I saw
it
little
was
bits of the Chappelle
genius.
show here and there. I never really watched it, but now having watched his stand-up, I'm probably going to go back and find a way to
Oh,
watch the show.
You never
Dude.
saw Chappelle's show?
God
I just watched a
damn.
little bit.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You love that shit.
Yeah.
The
Well, 'cause
black
he does a
white,
good job of like
the black white supremacist is great. Like
Clayton Bigsby,
right off the
dude.
bat.
Clayton Bigsby, the black white supremacist.
Yep.
I will give you that. Does sound interesting.
Dude, it's fucking amazing. Yeah, he's blind, so nobody ever told him he was black.
It was too
So he
important to
became
the
a white
movement.
supremacist.
He was the best.
Yeah, that was the greatest
best
part. And he'd be like,
there was.
because the guy's like, why didn't you ever tell him? He's like, you know what? Because he'd probably kill himself. Like he believes in the movement that much, just so
Yeah.
there'd be one less nigger around.
Yep. He sure as hell doesn't shy away from the N word either.
Yeah,
Like he
that's funny.
says it-
Remember when he pulls
says it
up?
more than
He pulls up next to the kids. There's these white kids in a fucking car, like
yeah.
a convertible, bumping rap music or whatever. And then he leans out the window, all blind or whatever. He's like, "Boogie boogie, nigger, boogie boogie, rah!" And then the white kids are like, "Did he just call us niggers?"
Us niggers?
And they're like, "Oh,
Oh,
awesome!"
right. Yeah, they started giving each other high fives and shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, see, dude,
like
he.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say,
Now we're just
Chappelle did a
rehashing
great
Dave
job.
Chappelle's bits. We're just like, remember that story how Dave Chappelle was hilarious?
But no, I was just gonna say, like, he does a great job with anything to do with race. Like comedians, like I fucking hated Martin Lawrence, and
Absolutely.
like a lot of the other ones were like they fucking actually hated white people. It's pretty obvious, dude.
His co-writer is a super white kid, so it was like,
Yeah, who's that? Neil Brennan.
So it was a white kid and Dave Chappelle, a black guy, like writing these racially charged sketches, and they weren't afraid to pull punches at all.
Yeah, dude, remember the race draft?
Yes,
They did a draft for fucking racists.
Where they're like, oh, he's officially black.
Right. I think the white people drafted Tiger Woods. I think.
Yeah.
Didn't Keenan and Kel fucking do that?
Yeah.
Keenan and Kel.
Oh, you mean Key and Peele?
Key and Peele, yeah. Didn't they basically just do that same exact bit?
If they did, they were ripping off Chappelle.
Yeah, I think Key and Peele
posted a fucking video
Dave
of that.
Chappelle Part 2 was what Comedy Central wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think they did that bit on their show.
Yeah.
No, it's funny.
They
I
are
was
pretty
going to say
funny,
one of the
but
things I liked about Dave Chappelle's comedy routine, like his hours, was that he went right into race and just he was like really even-handed and like just right up in your face about it and not holding anything back.
Super realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was
super honest and realistic. That's what I love about Dave Chappelle, and that's what makes him so hilarious.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I loved watching a comic who did go into race, but didn't go into it super one-sided and just
Some of his comedy sketches literally predicted the curve that reality television was going to take.
Oh, sure.
Like he made a comedy sketch about swapping wives, and then that fucking show premiered like a couple years later.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's right on the fucking mark, dude.
Yeah, definitely one of my all-time faves.
A lot of times South Park hits it right, like hits the nail right on the fucking head, and it's like, more people in America need to hear this message right here. Like, please.
Yeah, or Idiocracy. Idiocracy did a good job of predicting the future.
Idiocracy was scarily prescient. Like, I'm really worried that's going to be the reality in like 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. You know what? I used to love it, and now watching it in the last like 5 years or so, it's kind of depressing. Like, that used to be one of my all-time favorite movies, dude, and now I'm like, fuck. They're so goddamn right.
Macho is going to be president. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, isn't Trump kind of there? I mean, Trump is kind of... Actually, I think I sent out a tweet about that, about how he needed to be the next... Terry Crews needed to be president, but he had to fucking live-action role play Macho the whole fucking time.
Oh, well, I would vote for
that. The Simpsons had an episode several years ago, like way before, where it was like, what happens if America goes wrong? And it was Trump as president, and it was like, oh my god, like, holy shit.
Well, you know what's interesting is America's kind of getting screwed right now because like a lot of the stuff he's talking about isn't that bad. Like, it's no better or worse than most presidents. Some of the stuff might actually help small businesses, which would be great if it actually does. Fucking, I'm holding on, you know.
Let's try it, and if it here's the thing: let's objectively evaluate whether it's. Here's the problem: we enact all these things, and we can never get the truth. Like, we can never find out if it really fucking works or not.
Well, but he's not being allowed to, because it's the reality is there's the three political parties. There's Republicans, Democrats, and then the neos, the neocons and neo-libs, who are basically the same fucking thing. And they're like the deep state, sort of like fucking, we just want corporate overlords, bullshit fucking politicians.
Yeah, they're all bought and paid for.
None of what he's trying to do is ever going to get through because the Republicans themselves are fucking it. So he can't do a damn thing. And then everybody in the press is just constantly haranguing him.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if he gets ousted from office.
He does do a lot of crazy shit too.
Yeah,
let's not pretend that it's all chocolate waterfalls and rainbows. Like, he does do crazy shit.
No, I'm not saying.
I just love the I love the fact that we live in a world where the president tweets regularly.
Yeah,
and tweets some fucking crazy shit.
Oh yeah, and it's not just like
you were saying,
some professional White House personnel. Like, we need to really phrase this tweet so that it doesn't offend as many people as possible and gets our point across clearly.
Tweeted or said, like, to the cops, go ahead and rough them up a bit while you're putting the criminals in your car.
Nice.
It's cool. I got your back. Like,
I got your back, homie. And then he gave him the peace sign.
And you can't. That's really not what you're supposed to say as a president. But I love that he did, just because it's so fucking insane.
Right.
So many people took it like dead seriously, like he legitimately meant it. I'm like, do you not know? Like, fucking sarcasm. Like, it's not what. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, the world's way too fucking serious nowadays. That's for sure.
Yeah, you should only rough them up if they're black.
Yeah.
Then it's perfectly legal.
There's a term for what he's doing. He's speaking, not literally.
Sarcastically. Yeah.
Facetious.
Yeah, I like that word.
Facetious.
Go facetious.
No, it's not the word.
Fuchsia.
No, man, that's the goddamn word.
He was speaking
fuchsiously.
I want to say parabolically, but that's not it. It's something similar to that, though.
Hyperbolically?
Hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah. It's hyperbolic. He's not being like serious. He's just trying to get across the
time for him passes at a different rate, so he can train more.
Well, no, he's just trying to get the message.
1 year passes for every day that passes on the outside.
It's hyperbole, not legitimate. Suddenly it's like you do something hyperbolic out, and everybody's like, I think we should probably worry that he's going to start lighting gay people on fire. And you're like, I don't think he means that, guys. I'm just saying.
I remember that was one of the first things. I was like, has he said anything about that?
Anorexic.
Anything?
He's the
why did they think
he Republican candidate in the history of the fucking party to walk around on stage waving an LGBT flag.
Yeah. And they're still convinced that he hates them. Like, that he hates gay people. And
when they were talking about the bathroom thing, he's like, why do we care? Fucking they can use my bathroom. I don't fucking care. Like, get over it. Like, and the first thing he did was take the government out of the whole equation, because really, like, should the government be making laws about who gets to use what bathroom? Or should that just be stuff that people work out on their own?
Yeah. And it's seriously, let's say we got yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I assume they could have just continued on the way it's been. Like, if you passed, if you're a dude that's dressed as a woman, you pass as a woman, go in the fucking women's restroom. That's the way it's always happened. And vice versa.
That are intolerant of that and treat people like shit are not going to get as much money as the companies that are like cater to what people really want.
Right.
And eventually they'll change.
It doesn't fucking matter, dude. And it's been happening. That's what people don't get. And they're like, do you think that that hasn't been happening this whole fucking time? You really think every person that's gone into the women's restroom actually had a badge? Or every fucking
we need the government involved. We don't need lawsuits. That's what we don't want to encourage, is anybody who wants to can pretend they didn't get to go to some bathroom or something, and now they get to sue companies for thousands of dollars and make a buck.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Has already done that for like any little tiny store that doesn't have a fucking ramp can get sued for like hundreds of thousands of dollars and be put out of business because some dude wants to make a quick buck.
Yeah,
and that's it's like, do we really need more lawsuits that are basically just troll lawsuits, total nonsense?
Yeah.
Or should we take the government out of it and let people fucking work this shit out on their own and make them put on their big boy pants? Or dress, the big girl dress, whatever you want to say.
In other places around the world, like getting a larger perspective, there's something that's just called a bathroom where
everybody goes.
You just go there and do it, and then like you're done, and then you leave, and it doesn't matter if you have a dong or not.
Yeah, because you're just fucking going and taking a shit. Does it fucking matter who's in the stall next to you taking a shit? No.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility that's out there. We don't have to convert today, but I'm just saying, like, maybe we're freaking out a little too much.
Oh, with the moral right panic on that one fucking pissed me off. Like,
what are they trying to prevent? Like,
there was
or something.
Child rapists are going to dress like women and go to the women's room to get to little girls, and I'm like, then fucking call the cops when that happens. How often is that really going to happen?
And they can do that anyway. Like fucking, if they can pass, you know, like
Yeah,
if they
couldn't
can
they do
actually
that
look
now?
like a woman.
Yeah, the law's not going to make a difference, and
Yeah.
the cops are going to show up and deal with the guy regardless of whether
Yeah.
or not there's a law about which bathroom he can use. 'cause
Besides,
that's
I
not the
always,
problem.
if I send my kid to use a public bathroom, I kind of like watch over it.
Yeah. No, I
Like,
go. Dude,
I don't just send him off to use a public bathroom by himself
Yeah.
normally. Like,
Well,
my
I'm
kid's
usually there.
13. My kid's 13, and I still don't like to fucking have him go to the bathroom by
Yeah.
himself. Dude.
And strangers can walk in there.
There's situations where like moms will stand out in front of the men's restroom and tell people they can't go in because their kids are in.
Nice.
Mhm.
I mean, I would just ignore it and go in anyway because it's
Right.
a fucking bathroom, and I'm not going to fucking molest a kid because I'm a guy. That doesn't
Right.
that's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if it got to that,
I would have told, yeah, if that's never happened to me, but if it did, I'd be like, come in with me. I don't fucking care.
It's been in the news a couple of times. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I'd be,
exactly.
you know, to be honest, here's what I would do in that situation. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? And then she'll be like, no. And then I'll be like, fine. And I'll probably wait like 5 minutes. Like,
oh, yeah, you did. If you want to wait, go ahead and wait. I'm not.
She's being crazy,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
but
it depends on how bad I have to go. I might honor that, but it kind of depends on her attitude.
Because you know how crazy some people can get, where it's like she's gonna attack you and pepper spray you in the face or some shit.
Well, then she goes to jail. I'm not going
Yeah, exactly.
to sit there and determine whether or not I go to the bathroom by some
maybe she goes to jail.
idiot woman that is out of her mind.
Well, maybe you're being just as stubborn as they are now.
No, that's not
like Jesus Christ.
No, sorry, that's not even remotely the same. Nice try though.
Yeah, if your kid's actually small enough,
she can come in and watch.
It depends. Yeah, or she can take. If the kid's really young, why isn't she just taking him into the?
So what are you gonna do? Like push her out of the way? Like, come on, dude.
Oh, if it comes to the point where she's physically stopping me, I'll call the cops.
Right.
I'll call the police. I'm like, this crazy ass lady is physically getting in my way and refusing to let me go.
I could see that.
But if she's not, like, as far as I'm concerned, she can come in and watch me piss if that's what.
Yeah, exactly.
Her thing.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like, I understand being a parent and being worried. I'd be like, fuck yeah, come in. Or again, it depends on how old the kid is. Like, if it's real little, bring him in there to your fucking restroom. That happened all the time when I was a kid. I went in with my mom to the fucking women's restroom, dude.
Yeah, I think
that's why I like to wear women's clothes now.
If you,
if there'd be like a father standing, I mean,
go into the restroom and it's fine.
I mean, put it the other way around. If it's some father standing outside the women's room telling women they can't go in because his daughter's in there, like, how are you going to respect that? So don't expect more of me.
Right.
I'm not going to be like, okay, that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Because essentially the implication is because I am an adult male, I want to fuck her kid. And I'm like, look, your kid's probably not that.
Right.
Are women less likely to molest children?
Nah, should tell them that. If she looks at anything like you got nothing to worry about.
That would be an interesting place to go that I hadn't considered before.
It's really they're not less. I've worked with people that are women who've molested kids in where I work. Like mental health clients.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
just as common.
I'm wondering if there's like studies though.
Well, the one of the issues that clouds it is because there's a lot of situations in which if it were a dude, they would go to jail, but because it's a woman, they just assume that it's benign.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, even though it's probably predatory in a lot more cases than or in the same amount of cases.
So there's a lot of it that goes unknown in that respect, and
yeah, I think over 90% of all sexual crimes are never like reported in any way, right?
Well, so just crime in general, you're only getting like, I think 20 or 30% of it being reported. And then of that 20 or 30%, you're probably only getting another 10% of that actually doing jail time. So, I mean,
but sex crimes are notorious for not being reported.
No, I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if that's that high. It really wouldn't.
Yeah,
because I'm just saying, this is the general all crime put together is so hard to get people in jail.
So it would be hard to even get numbers on that.
Yeah. Well, and the majority of molestation is family members or friends of family. So a lot of times people just don't want to put
and
Uncle
just let it
Bob
go.
in
Yeah,
prison.
victims. Yeah, a lot of times people are victimized by like friends of family instead of just strangers.
Yeah.
I've worked with
And their friends and the other family members can easily coerce them into being silent because they don't want their uncle or whoever to go to fuck.
I've worked with multiple clients who've been molested by family members who never went to jail and never were ousted from the family. But the person who I'm working with is not considered okay because it must just be that they're crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that happens a lot more than you want to think. Like,
yeah, no, I can totally see that happening.
I understand that because my family's crazy.
yeah. And so it's like they'll embrace the person who actually molested or raped the kid, and then the kid is the one who is
The
wrong
victim
because
is-
they have
actually, I heard about this in one family that we knew was they were actually talking about the fact that someone was getting molested, and then it was the one woman there who was like, "Why the fuck have you not reported this? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
That went through and actually finally reported the guy.
Yeah.
But they were actually talking about it, and they knew about it, and they did nothing. And they were actually gossiping about, or not gossiping, but they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And so it took that one person to finally say,
Because
"What
it's
the hell?"
because people, what is that, like the bystander, like what is
Somebody
that
else
thing
will take
called?
care of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
someone
know.
else.
Well, it's
Someone
more
else will take
tribal.
care of it. It's someone else's problem. I don't want to get involved in it. You know, it's that.
Still,
Type
you
of
know,
thing.
a kid is suffering. How do you take that fucking attitude?
No, I get it. Like I couldn't stand by knowing a kid or anyone is being sexually molested or anything. So it's like,
Right.
I'm legally not allowed to stand by if I know about it.
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think
This
anyone-
is where you work.
I don't think
Where you work,
anyone
I assume
should.
you're legally obligated to report it, right?
I'm a mandated reporter. I get fined and potentially go to jail if I don't report any kind of.
Here's the thing. I think other people should be fined and sent to jail if they know about molestation and don't report it.
Yeah. That actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that being a law.
Like I'd be fine. with
Anytime when you
I
got
don't know,
kids
man.
suffering,
That's
dude.
But
almost a
that
step
can
away from
open
thought crime.
that can open up a can of worms into a whole bunch of other things too.
Well, you thought about robbing this place, and that's as good as bad as robbing it because you were talking with your buddy about it. And even though you haven't done anything and you were just drunk, fucking joking around, you still need to go and do like, fucking 10 years for thought crime.
Yeah.
You know, like that's,
No, I'm talking about people that know about the crime and don't tell anybody. You're saying that's a thought crime?
I'm saying it's depending at a certain point, like, that's down that road. It's sort of like
It's a slippery slope that could lead to that.
Yeah. You mean because they didn't actually witness it? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to understand your point of view because I must have missed something.
I'm saying that if you go down that road, it sort of ends up being a slippery slope because
Remember how we had McCarthyism?
Yeah, it's sort of like it ends up with like secret police and like it's not necessarily that's a terrible idea. It's that
But enacting it could cause worse things to happen.
Okay.
Do we end up with like witch trials? Do people start making false reports constantly?
Because then you can use because just like what happened to me, apparently you can still file false reports about things and shit will still legally get done. And it's like, imagine if that could be taken to the next level, if you could have someone killed because you wrote that down on a piece of paper.
And then there's also the Fifth Amendment to take into account. You have the right not to incriminate yourself.
Plead the fifth.
So how would they prove that you knew without your own testimony?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You know what I mean? Whereas like my job, I'm trained. Like I specifically go through training to spot victims of that kind of thing.
I hate pleading the fifth.
And it has to be I have to have knowledge of an actual situation. Like I can't just suspect.
Okay, so plead the fifth is like you have to be guilty to plead the fifth.
No,
like that's the thing.
No, it's just they're saying like if it's even possible. Like
no, I understand that, but most people understand plead the fifth as you can only plead the fifth if you're guilty and you know it and you don't want to admit it.
Yeah, this is true.
So that's why I love
the vast majority of people that benefit from the Fifth Amendment.
So that's why I love it when people like just everyday people like, well, I'm gonna like not in court and just like I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. And it's like you fucking did it, motherfucker. Like you pleading the fifth.
Well, that is. That's generally what they're saying.
It's mainly meant
admitting to it without admitting to it.
So, like, the police question someone and they're like, where were you? Where did you go? What were you doing? You don't have to answer any of that because you have the Fifth Amendment.
Sure, because the answer
you might have been in an area where crime was committed, but
even though you didn't commit the crime.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I walked by that bank, 20 minutes before it got robbed, but I didn't rob it.
I didn't rob
it. I don't need to tell you that because...
Telling you I was
there. Why would you? Yeah, why would you say something that could potentially end up with you in jail?
Here's the weird thing about the justice system. You have two separate groups, and one of them is desperate to do any legal trick they can to prove that you're guilty, and the other group is willing to do anything just as dirty to prove you're innocent.
Yeah.
And I find that just
system of
it doesn't seem to be really worried about the truth so much as just like who's going to win the battle.
Yeah.
And then it's like, shouldn't we have someone just worried about finding the truth no matter what side it happens to be on?
Yeah. Have advocates for each one, and then have a third party that's
here's the facts as far as we know.
Jury, though, that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
they're
but regular people are dumb, Stabby, and they're really bad at deciding things.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying,
it'd be nice to have another layer that's just concerned about let's just find the truth.
Well, the police are supposed to just be concerned about finding the truth. They're not supposed to be going.
They're not in court most of the time.
Although, again, anytime you have humans involved, there's going to be a possibility of error.
Well, with the police, it's not just humans. It's the amount of money they can make, and the funding for their stuff is directly related to how many people they bust for crimes.
Oh, yeah. Then that gets into the whole situation where cops are like, all right, everyone, we've got to write twice as many tickets these next 2 weeks because we really got to make enough money. Right. And it's
exactly
worried about
even though quotas,
you're worried about money.
It's how college tuitions got out of control.
Yeah,
because the government started offering to pay for tuitions. We'll pay for a year for X number of people for X reason or whatever.
Because educated citizens is a good thing.
So suddenly the colleges
theoretically, that's great.
Twice the amount of money to put a student for a year, and then it was 3 times the amount of money, and now it's 4 times the amount of money that they need per year for each student because that's how they can make more money.
So the government's a funny thing like that. I know.
Yeah, it started out as a really good idea, but it got taken advantage of, like things do.
I know for a fact that because one of my family members was a high-ranking official in the U.S. Air Force, that basically the goal was to inflate the budget as much as possible. That way your budget would get increased next year. And then the next year you would want to make sure that you spent everything you got plus a little extra. That way your budget would increase for the next year.
Which is why I'm going to run for president next time.
So it's just like this. It's just like this out of control inflation where it's they're just getting money to get money just to have more money.
And my campaign is going to be to shut down all of the government and start over.
Except
for Congress, we're just going to start over. So we're going to close down all of the agencies, all of the federal and state law enforcement agencies, and start over making new ones.
Wow.
All right. So in this scenario, would you?
It's going to be like Wild West for a couple weeks.
ATF, CIA, all of it. Shut all the fucking alphabet soup agencies down.
So would you have
maybe
your
not shut them all down, just reform them all? I don't know.
I think it's so far gone at this point that what you need to do is shut them all down and create 2 new groups out of it.
Then we got to phase that out. We can't just shut it all down at once.
No, shut it all fucking down at once.
No, we got to all right, this city's switching over to the new system.
It would definitely create a sense of urgency.
No, I was joking about the state agencies, obviously. But the federal ones, no, I would say shut it all down.
Nice.
Just have the FBI and
I'm
the
not
CIA
opposed to a complete government rewrite at this point. I think even the founding fathers said, hey, every once in a while, you can go in, you can amend these documents. And by the way, if the government gets too out of control, wipe the slate clean and do it again.
So permanently fire the top 4 levels or 5 levels of management at all the alphabet soup agencies. They're gone for good. They can't get hired again. They're gone.
I'm fine with that. Keep going.
Then you dismantle all of them.
Okay.
And instead of even looking at their budget, look at what needs to be done.
And then assign a budget?
And then assign a budget based on what needs to actually be done.
Wow. Now that
And
makes total sense, which leads me to believe that you could never be a politician.
I'd get shot before I'd reach office by the fucking FBI. No, and then essentially you would just have federal police and you would have spies. I would just call them like the spy agency.
The spy. So you'd literally have Stabby's secret police.
No, it would be the United States Spy Agency.
Nice. Okay.
Because like fucking what are we? Central Intelligence? We're fucking like nobody knows what that is.
Yeah,
it should be the United States spies. USS.
Straight up tell of like, hi, I'm with the U.S. Spies Department.
USS.
Department of Spies.
And the federal police, and that's it. USS and the FP, federal police.
Okay.
US. That's what I'm running on. I think I was gonna be fucking. No one's gonna vote for anyone but me, man. I'm gonna win.
I would vote for you.
And then I'm gonna use the USS to just kill everybody in the corporations.
Hey, I was just looking up. Do you remember? I don't know why this kicked me off to this, but
we're
do you
just
remember
that aside?
Well, no, I was looking up the quote from Kennedy shortly before he was killed about the shadow government and all that shit. It's pretty long. I was going to kind of read it off, but that's really long, dude.
Well, Kennedy got assassinated because he went after the fucking Federal Reserve.
Well, he got assassinated. There was a lot of shit, but yeah, that was definitely one of them.
The main reason was he was going to go after the Federal Reserve and shut it down and make a government organization as opposed to the government being beholden to a private organization for all of the fucking currency in the country, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's again.
If he wanted to do that,
he was the last one that tried to actually make a major change like that. That's why I kind of think I would not be shocked if Trump got assassinated. Because anytime anybody's actually tried to change the system, you know, they got fucking they got killed, dude.
If I really wanted to change the system, I would eradicate the Rothschilds.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be the place to start. They control 90% of the banking in the world. You eliminate them, you eliminate 90% of the shadow government everywhere.
Yeah, start seizing their assets first because, like, we need their money.
Oh, their money will go to people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they own all the money, basically.
If I was the president, the first thing I would do is I would literally use the fucking assassination equipment, like the assassination people from the CIA to get rid of
the Department of Assassins.
It would be hilarious.
Oh, shit, listen to
Alex
this.
Jones was president. That's what I would do. I would basically, and what would Alex Jones do would be my creed.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We just went, wait.
Yeah, listen to this, though.
Are you going to sell us some magical pills, too?
So if you're having trouble getting erections, there's these great herbal supplements.
Nice. Here's the thing.
Let me just tear my shirt off and run screaming from
vitality.
Here's the thing. Alex Jones served his purpose to me. There was a 1 to 2 year period where I listened to Alex Jones, sincerely listened to him, and even believed some of the crazy things that he said. And it was instrumental in opening my mind enough to where I had to start eliminating some of the beliefs that I had. Like, I had too many. I was accepting too many things at that point because they're always like, open your mind. Like, this stuff could be possible. Like, Star Trek, that's based on real life. There's people living in a space station right now. And it's like, okay, yeah, let's just go with that. And like, you take all that stuff to its logical conclusion. And then for me, at least at one point, I had to start reining it back in and going, okay.
Oh, so that's where you went wrong.
He's not always wrong, though, dude.
No, he's not. No. I'm not saying he's always wrong, but just saying like the crazier stuff that he says.
Yeah, well, dude, I have a theory on Alex Jones. I really believe that he deliberately acts like a lunatic and says crazy shit as a form of life insurance. Because if he just came out with shit that was true and he didn't discredit himself a little with the fucking lunatic behavior, that he would have gotten killed by now.
That's possible because he does deal with a lot of crazies.
Right.
I think I want to run for president, and I want to have. Oh no, that guy's not American. Let me see. Who do I want to have as my vice president? Fucking Rush Limbaugh.
Your toaster. Your toaster.
Sure.
No, Rush
Ditching your
Limbaugh.
toaster so easily?
Rush Limbaugh.
Because nobody would want to kill me.
Yeah, okay.
Potential president would be scary.
Oh my god.
Well, see, a couple years ago, I would have said have Trump as your running mate because no one sane would want Trump as president, so he'd be totally safe. But then it's like, well, I was
No,
wrong.
wait, no. Fuck Rush
How
Limbaugh.
the
Jeb
world
Bush.
has changed.
It's like Hitler.
Jeb
Have
Bush.
Hitler.
Jeb Bush, too.
Jeb Bush, that's going to be my vice president. Nobody wants that dude as president.
Are you serious? No one wants him as president? Because that
Not
makes
even,
me
not even Jeb Bush.
kind of happy.
The dude walks around with fucking turtles in his pocket. He's
Whoa.
he's
Does
truly
he really?
Yes.
No, I
Holy
mean,
shit.
Just in case there's kids, so he can give them little toy turtles.
no,
Oh, okay. I thought you were
That's
talking live ones. I mean, it's still weird, but I don't.
yeah, that's better than dressing
Turtles.
up like the cowboy president. Like,
No, in
Yeah,
all
they're
honesty,
all a little slow, dude.
as far as
they're
like,
all a little weird.
I think as far as like being able to do the job, he probably would have done fine.
Mm.
You know, he would have let everybody else do their thing and just basically signed off on whatever they told him to sign off on. I don't think he would have,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
made
yeah,
any
he would have
waves.
Yeah,
been
the same way George W. did.
He would have been the perfect puppet president to just like
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
here and shut up and do your job, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I want for never mind. No. I know what I need.
I think Trump shaking up the system is good a little bit no matter what, even if the end result is bad, because it will force people
See
to
how corrupt
to
it is.
reevaluate like, hey, he tried something new and it didn't work. Maybe we should try something even newer. Like, let's hope they don't just let's go back to the old thing.
Well,
Well, I think
certainly
it's
going to
helping
happen.
people's eye to the amount of corruption, the level of corruption, and how deep it runs.
Oh yeah.
They're actually using deep state regularly on the news.
Yeah.
Like that's not even being denied anymore. That there's a deep state that basically controls our government.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
amazed.
that's
I'm amazed that people didn't
that's
realize
really
that.
good.
That there's I forgot what the guy's name is, but there's some guy in, that basically ran New York City for decades from behind the scenes, and it wasn't not a mob guy, but I forget the fuck his name is. But yeah, obviously completely unelected.
Like Rockefeller?
It could have been, probably
The
was.
Rockefeller family is
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
that. There's
say,
a couple families
yeah.
in the U.S.
It was
that-
run with money, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
let's face it, that is the ultimate power in America. Like, there is nothing you can't do. There is nothing you can't corrupt. There is no rule you can't break if
Yeah.
you don't have enough fucking money. Like, if you have enough money, you can do it all.
Right.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I got
But yeah.
There's no
vice
rules
president.
anymore.
And
Yeah.
Day Quad.
But that's the illusion.
Made him up. I want to run with Terry Crews as my vice president, but he has to be Macho Camacho character the whole time.
Oh yeah. I thought that was so perfect, dude. I'm like,
me
oh,
and
yeah.
Macho Camacho running for prez.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
forget all his things was. He was like a wrestling champ. He was a porn star. Fuck, what else was it? That character. Fuck,
Well,
I
actually,
don't
Terry
know.
Crews himself is really intelligent and very much a centrist.
Mhm. Yeah, although I've also heard him.
are you talking about the perfect human?
No, I'm just
Basically,
saying.
like you were saying, like he's an Olympic athlete and he's done all this stuff. He's a
no, Macho Camacho did all that. Not actually Terry Crews.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I was talking about the character. They're supposed to
Yeah,
be
I was
porn
saying the real
star.
person is just
Because
like
that
the
just
centrist.
sounds like the perfect human. It's like, of course he should be in charge. He's better than us. He's superior.
Actually, you know what I think would be funny? If we just picked the president out of a lottery of all the kindergarten teachers in the country.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be
Just-
interesting.
And like just basically just a message to Congress, like, here's what we think of you. We think a
I
kindergarten
wonder,
teacher is
dude.
what's needed to get you fuckers in line.
I think
Dude,
that actually would do some good because
I would love to see
kindergarten
the,
teachers got to deal with like people's petty little bullshit all the time, acting
Yeah.
like fucking children.
Yeah.
They'd know
I
how to
wonder
deal
if
with
they
it.
would find it harder to deal with than dealing with fucking 4 and 5 year olds.
Now, Mr. McCain, we share the talking stick.
Yeah, and quit pooping your pants, please.
God, dude, it's amazing how much I used to respect that motherfucker because I'm from the area in southern Maine where he represents, And now I can't stand that motherfucker.
No, you had like the football thing where it's like he's from our hometown, like we have to follow him.
Yeah, like when he was going up against Bush, I was almost going to quit and work for his campaign, dude.
Wow. Okay, so you were like deep into it.
Yeah, back then, but by now I'm like, God, this motherfucker. Like, I don't want him representing us.
Yeah, I honestly don't know which I would think would be worse, McCain or Bush. Like
yeah. Well, McCain kind of turned because he was kind of for me, he kind of just went to the dark side when he didn't talk out against the shit Bush was doing.
Okay.
You know, where he just was like, nope, he's our president now.
McCain has gotten to the point where he's out of his mind, just completely out of his mind.
Yeah, he's fucking lost.
I imagine it's the brain cancer. I don't know why he hasn't been like removed on just like.
Yeah. Well, remember Strom Thurmond? Like,
wasn't he like? Wait, McCain wasn't he like the bald guy?
Yes.
Like the guy that was like everyone was making diaper jokes about him. Like I think I remember
now. There's Strom Thurmond was on way after he should have been. Remember Strom Thurmond?
Strom Thurmond got elected after he died.
Wow. That's insane, dude.
Yeah,
well, Strom Thurmond's just like
majority of votes after death.
Strom Thurmond's just like the joke that you point at.
Right.
Like you just point at that, you don't even have to make a joke. You just like remember that, and then people know.
There's video of the Supreme Court hearing cases where some of them have nodded off and fallen asleep in their fucking chair.
Yeah.
Wow. And they don't have like an age limit on that shit. Like maybe 70 is the highest.
Yeah, the lifetime appointment until death is fucking crazy.
Not even I don't even care about their age. Just I want to know that they're capable of doing the job. Like
but
well enough.
That's going to be an imperfect. Like, what are they going to take a test? Are they going to have to pass a psychologist exam or?
Yes.
And
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing when you're talking about who is allowed to have sex or not. You know, like that's going to be
the thing. Yeah, that leads to eugenics.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, they do eugenics, but it'll be exploited, dude, by political things.
They do that right now all the time for all old people. Like if you think that there's an old person in your life that isn't mentally fit anymore, you have them mentally evaluated, and there's a professional that comes out and they decide like,
I get all that. I'm saying if that person's going to be on the Supreme Court, the guy doing the evaluation could easily have a bone to pick with that guy's opinions.
Well, sure. You don't leave it up to one guy.
Yeah, even three, even five, dude. Yeah, it would have to be a lot, dude. But it is pretty obvious. Kind of like the Pope. I mean, Pope John Paul before.
But tell me right now, if that system was in place, like some of these people would be out already, and there would be new people in.
Yeah.
So that's a vast improvement, at least.
Personally, I think term limits need to be applied. That nobody can be in any office for more than 8 years.
Like I think a term is nice.
Yeah,
because that way
it could definitely be a long term. Like you could put it even 8 years for a Supreme Court might be a little low, but
because I want them to have experience. See, here's the thing: I want them to be able to have years of experience to gain to like reflect upon, but I don't want them so old where it's like this is the way things were and they can never change.
Like I don't want that people anymore.
By going through being judges in regular court. Like that's where they gain the experience being judges or being lawyers for 20
well,
years.
Yeah, but I feel like being on the Supreme Court
back to being a judge or a lawyer.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You know, it's not like they're just like then they get to retire and just suck money out of the government forever. That was never supposed to be the case. It was never supposed to be retire from the government and keep getting money from the government.
Oh yeah, see, I could
supposed to go in, serve your 2 or 4
years. They would just get a retirement package like any other job, basically. Like that's the way I would look at it.
I think they should do your maximum of 8 years in whatever office, and then you go and you do whatever other job you're doing. You're back out in the public.
Yeah. For any elected office, yeah. Although I still think the appointed ones could go a little longer. But yeah. Yeah, term limits. I'm definitely agreeing with you on.
Well, I mean, most judges.
The length is what I'm kind of iffy on.
That's not the same thing for all the other judges. I just think because the Supreme Court is so important and so capable of changing how the laws are determined, that you really don't want people in there for too long.
Yeah.
The less time they're allowed in there, the less time they have to really fuck shit up.
Yeah. I don't think I'm talking a major difference. I'm thinking 10 or 12 at the most. I'm not talking like 20 years or something.
But even if they fuck shit up, then in 8 years somebody else can come along and unfuck it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want it to be short because it's not only does it not give them as much time to corrupt the system, but it also means that somebody else can come in and uncorrupt the system just as quickly.
But it also means that there could be a bunch of people in a row that are idiots that just fuck it up over and over again. So it's like
that's always possible.
But
there's going to be ups and downs to both. But I still think that what the system we have now, I think what we're all getting at
is it's broken.
It needs to be fixed, and we have many ideas that could be enacted that would be superior to what we have now, probably.
Yeah, well, if we could get term limits in Congress more than anything else.
Yes, they used to. How the hell did they manage to void that out? Because that was a thing for a while. Not very long, and I don't remember it being repealed or whatever, but they actually did vote for term limits in Congress at one point.
See, the way I think it should be is like you could be, you could vote for like, one of your city council members, and you'd be, then you could be elected as a mayor. If you wanted to make being a politician a career.
And hold on.
And then you could be like, a governor, and then you could try to be president or a senator or a representative, that kind of thing. Instead
of if you're caught being filthy, you're done.
Yeah.
Like if you're caught purposely fucking over people or the government, like you're done with politics.
Yeah. And you don't get more chances. Somebody does want to be a career politician. Are you talking like 2 terms, like 8 years? They're totally done, or do they have to just sit one out and they can come back in after that one?
No, I'm talking 8 years.
Or do you think they should just be done?
8
years, like in their entire life,
given position.
Yeah, like the president.
So if you're mayor, you're mayor for 8 years, and then you never get to be mayor again.
How about you get to be mayor for 4 years, and then someone else is mayor for 4 years, and then you come back and serve 4 years, and then you're done.
Like that'd be interesting.
That's happened before, right? Like a president lost an election and then came back later.
I don't know. That'd be kind of an interesting.
I don't think anybody that got elected president ever did, but I mean, Nixon definitely lost the presidential election and ended up becoming president later. But yeah, he was never president.
Oh no, I meant like both terms weren't served.
Yeah, no, I know. Non-consecutively.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. That'd be interesting.
So that'd be interesting. Well, see, because then it's like, if they did fuck things up in like the 8 years, they'd only get 4 years at a time.
Yeah.
Like someone else could come along and undo all
that would
of their
almost be better. Like you can't even serve 2 in a row. You have to do them non-consecutive. Like, all right, you can do another 4 years, but you got to wait 4 years.
Well, the only people that are going to get another 4 years are going to be the ones that genuinely do what the people want, though.
Yeah. What I don't want,
or if they're just black, because I think that's a huge part of how Obama managed to get reelected.
Yeah,
or if they're just black.
Yeah, well, no, I'm serious though. Have you seen the stats on how black people voted? Like it was ridiculously, overwhelmingly voting for Obama.
Yeah, but there's not that many percentage of black people in the U.S. It's not like they're even close to half, much less.
Yeah, but still, when you have that much of a demographic.
I don't even think each one of their votes counts as one. I think it's like
Jesus Christ,
5/8 or something like that.
What was it, 3/5? I think it used to be.
Yeah, what was the old like?
What was it? It was like 3/5, dude.
It was something dumb.
Yeah.
Racism.
Like Hispanics and Latinos are like 17.8 compared to the
Oh yeah, they've actually passed
13.3. So like the Hispanic vote would be more than the black vote.
Well, even they voted pretty overwhelmingly for not that overwhelmingly, but they definitely.
I'm sure race had something to do with it, but I'm just saying like it's.
There's still a lot of white people. There's still way more white people voted for Obama.
Yeah, you can't win on just like one demographic.
Where are all the white women at?
It just doesn't work that way very well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
that
waiting.
was the thing is,
I'm waiting for the
people
system.
laughing when Obama said he could have gotten elected for a third term, and then people were laughing, and I'm like, I don't know that he wouldn't have, despite everything.
I'm waiting for America to just follow its most logical conclusion, which is to just make money directly responsible for electing officials, so that rich people get
Whoever
more
pays
votes
the
than poor
most.
people.
I think I'm wondering now. Like, I honestly wonder if the way it's going, if they're going to actually impeach Trump out of office. I genuinely don't know.
They
if
seem
there's
to be
gonna
going after him pretty
armed
hard.
revolt. Like, I see people marching with guns in the streets if that happens, though. Like, in a lot of places. Like,
Yeah.
they may not be the majority, but they're going to be like some armed motherfuckers shooting people. No, not the police and not the military. Like, I would genuinely.
A lot of militias and a lot of just yeah. No, I know what you're saying, dude.
Yeah, it concerns me that like Congress would be like the next day would be held hostage by fucking like 10 or 20 militias that all got together and were like, you know what, we're done. Let's go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the world that's shaped from that.
Yeah. Not really. I don't think interesting is the word I would use.
I think it's going to be very interesting. I think we're going to be all glued to the fucking outcome of that shit.
Oh yeah, no. As far as like,
it'll be chaotic, interesting, and chaotic.
I think it would be compelling.
By interesting, I mean like, holy shit, this is some major shit happening. Like,
yeah, I think it would be compelling more than interesting.
How is this going to turn out? I would be very interested in it. I would find it fascinating, Captain.
Yeah,
like, I would be like, what are the humans going to do now?
All right. Okay, so you just felt like interesting wasn't strong enough of a word.
I'm more of an observer of history. Like, I'd rather just sit back and see what the silly humans do, because I've seen what the silly humans have done throughout history, and I just see repeating patterns over and over. And it's like, how's the coup going to work out this time? Like, I've seen coups where the people got their head chopped off and they reformed and everything was great. I've seen coups where the people in charge were like horribly killed and then things didn't turn out great. What's going to happen this time? What are the history books going to write about the great American civilization on this day?
If history repeats itself like that, then if Trump is removed from office, whoever they appoint is going to get killed by some military general and they'll take over the country.
Right.
You know, like that'll be the Caesar. The next person will be the Caesar because Trump is.
So it'll just be a military dictatorship at that point.
But it'll end up that the country split into multiple different parts, though. I would imagine probably 4 or 5 countries would split off.
Right.
Oh, so we wouldn't have United States of America anymore.
In all honesty, I think if
they'd be the divided states of America.
The corporates basically try to just appoint another president, taking away the one that was elected in.
Stabby, please, no.
God,
don't even bring it up. I don't even want to think about fucking corporations.
The real question
is
hold on. This is going somewhere. Hold on. It's going somewhere. The real question is, do you want to live in Coke country or do you want to live in Pepsi country? Or are you going to live in the Nestle
What are my
Hills?
options? Hold on. What are my options?
In the country called Coke or the country called Pepsi or the country called Nestle?
Does Coke
or
also...
Monsanto Mountains.
Yeah, what we got 10 choices.
The mountains of Monsanto.
The 10 states of America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can live in Coke, you can live in Pepsi, you can live in fucking Kelloggville, you can live in fucking Nestleville.
Who owns Chick-fil-A?
I don't know, probably Pepsiville.
Okay.
No, some Mormon guy. Oh yeah, wait, some Mormon guy owns Pepsi now, so it could be the same guy.
I feel like gays won't be allowed in that country. Like, I'm gonna have to.
You want to be there then? You don't want
I'm gonna have to.
And they will not be open on Sundays.
It's gonna be best for me. It's like, well, I really don't like Pepsi products a lot either. So, you know.
I don't even drink
are Chick-fil-A's open on Sundays now, or are they still closed on Sundays?
Oh, they're still closed. They just stopped openly giving money to groups that kill gay people overseas.
Yeah. So they're still taking Sundays off, but they're
yeah, they're taking a day of rest. They're just not actively, trying to kill gay people anymore.
Gotcha.
I love that day of rest when you don't actively kill people.
Well, no, they
So
were
nice.
actively giving money to like groups that went out and killed gay people in other countries. Like it was just like
Yeah.
I can understand why people were upset. Like you're donating millions of dollars to people you're just going out and murdering folks. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. So essentially, they're just upset that they couldn't do that here. So they're like,
Well, I'm
all
sure
right,
they're
well,
still giving them the money. They're just making it through fronts instead. They're
Right.
doing it the other way. I'd be
yeah,
shocked if
freaking. Yeah.
Okay, so they hate gays still.
yeah.
That part we know. Okay.
Guys, I'm gonna have to tap out pretty soon here. My son's gonna be getting home from school here pretty quick.
You can't taste the hate in a Chick-fil-A
All right.
sandwich. Although,
You can.
we should probably wrap it up. That's a good point. We've been going for
Yeah.
a while.
Dude, it's been 3.5. I don't know if you realize, but it's been 3.5 hours already.
We've yammered.
Yeah, holy shit, it's been a long goddamn time.
Yeah.
All
We're
right.
sorry.
Good though, man.
We
It's good
apologize.
shit.
We solved the world's problems again.
If only anyone would listen to us.
If only it counted in some way.
Right?
Well, some people are listening and it's not chatting. Or maybe it's like says 5 viewers, but in reality it's only like one.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it is. I'm one of them for sure because I always watch
Yeah.
the chat. No, it's 3 obviously. So
Chat
there's 2
died a
people
long
maybe
time ago.
Oh,
possibly.
and Akinawa said he'd leave his phone on, but he was going to sleep.
Oh yeah.
So we got a sleeper.
That. And either Niche or Niche. Is it Niche? Niche or
He
Niche?
left.
Yeah.
He left it
Oh,
during-
so
He left
So-
during the like fucking robots conversation, I think.
yeah.
So,
That was
wait,
too-
I assume we all know Rockabye Baby?
of course.
Rockabye baby.
Yeah,
Little
Rockabye
nursery
Baby.
rhyme. In the
I think we
treetop.
should end out like
Oh,
we
okay.
sing Rockabye Baby for Akinaro. And that'll
Oh
be the end of
yeah.
the show.
There we
Hold
go.
on, wait. Before we start it, think about this.
We're a little
fucking
late.
Nursery
Yeah,
rhyme.
he
Like,
requested that like 2 hours ago, but okay.
Rockabye Baby. The baby's crib is in a tree.
Yeah. I know.
How? First of all, how did the crib get in the tree? No one's got an answer. Right?
Ingenuity.
It's like we've got some
A
abusive
really strong
parents.
wind
Yeah, so it's like we've got some abusive parents already, leaving the kid
or
in a tree.
neglectful. One of the
Why
two.
do you think I chose that song, Mike?
Okay.
I mean, be fair, like this is us. That's
The
why I
fairy
chose that
just-
song.
The fairy tales. Go back and read the originals. Like all
You
the
guys-
children's fairy tales. Oh my god.
You're getting us back into the conversation. We got to
I
round
know.
up.
So
Mike.
we're ending it. Rockabye
Yeah.
Baby.
Rockabye Baby. So on the count of 3, I'll count it out. All right. So
Right.
1,
I'm not gonna sing.
2. What was it?
What? Nothing.
Now you got to sing with us, Mike. Come on, man.
Okay. I'm singing.
Good. I'm in,
1,
Stabby.
2, 3. Rockabye Baby.
Top. Oh shit! I don't know the words. When the wind blows.
The cradle will rock.
Is that the next line?
You have a child.
All right,
God sake.
Akinaro, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Down will
Akinaro.
come baby cradle and all.